Introducing a whole new form of racing to the best online racing simulation in the world. This is Dirt Racing on iRacing.com. Race online at some of America's most legendary dirt tracks, including Eldora and Williams Grove. iRacing is the premier online racing game featuring NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and now World of Outlaws, the leading sanctioning body for dirt racing. iRacing is easy to use and features a centralized ranking system to make sure you have the best experience at any skill level. With a massive inventory of high-precision laser scan tracks and cars with an unmatched dedication to quality and detail, iRacing gives you the most authentic online racing experience available. Thanks to iRacing's dynamic track system, developed specifically for dirt racing, tracks change over the course of a race, just like your favorite dirt track on a Friday or Saturday night. From a slick racing groove all the way up to the cushion, iRacing's dirt tracks deliver non-stop racing action. Partnered with the World of Outlaws, iRacing is your source for the most authentic dirt racing experience available, featuring 4 brand new tracks and 11 new cars, including street stocks, Legends cars, late models, NASCAR trucks, winged and non-winged sprint cars, with much more on the way. Join the Dirt Revolution on iRacing.com and start slinging mud today.
When I sat in the car, you always wonder, what's it going to feel like? It was my first time driving a mid-engine GT car. My thoughts were, wow, this is really good for our first time in a car. I was really surprised by it. You're sitting low, you got the A-pillars at steep angles, the windshields at steep angles, you can see the fender flares. I think we have a chance to win. Everything's got to go right, but I think we have a car that can win the race or be on the podium. But can you imagine how cool that would be to go back 50 years later to the year and do it?
Welcome one and all to V8's Online's live broadcast of the first round of the Midweek Sportscar Championship. Well, you saw our Thursday night IMSA series last Thursday at Suzuka. A little bit of a 45-minute sprint. Well, now we're going to go all out for a big 3-hour enduro here at the Suzuka circuit using the cars from the IMSA series, the Daytona prototype, the Ford GT and Ferrari 488, and the Mercedes and Audi GT3 cars. My name is Reese Gardiner. Joining me in the commentary box for tonight's racing is Jay Kennedy. Jay, we're in the middle of qualifying at the moment, and those times, they're looking pretty close.
Yeah, thank you, Reese. Hello, everyone. It's nice and close, especially in the GTE category. We've got about 14 GTE cars. We've got 10 in GT3 class and 5 in the Riley that was bad, wasn't it? The Vet. I nearly said Riley DP. The Vet Daytona prototype.
Old habits die hard.
Oh yeah, that brings back memories. But yeah, we've got about 6 minutes left in qualifying, and the guys are just out there getting themselves acclimatised to the circuit conditions. It'll be really, really interesting to see what happens in this race or this series tonight. A few guys will decide to race solo. We've got guys that are going to do driver swaps between 2 drivers, and other teams that are going to do driver swaps between 3, and some I've heard a rumour that are even doing 4. So. Be interesting to see what comes out of it, but at the moment it's Luis Palo-Gallon that is leading the way in the DP class. He of course won the top split on Thursday night last week.
Yeah, he certainly did. A very quick guy in the Daytona prototype in that green Trans-Tasman racing machine, and he's doing very well for himself. 5/10 clear of the next Daytona prototype, which is Redback Racing Team Red, with Daniel Benefield currently at the wheel of that doing some laps. Followed closely by about 2/10 by Clint Smith in the Performance Motorsports number 67 Daytona prototype. And yeah, Clint Smith, the organizer of this series, and of course the man behind the All-Star Shootout, just recently joined Performance Motorsports.
Yeah,
so...
I think it was a late announcement last night. I think I saw that
Yeah.
he joined up, so a really late signing. Congratulations to him, joining a great bunch of guys, a group of guys that race for the right reason being having fun first, and everything else comes second, which I think is fantastic. I love it when teams race for the right reason.
Absolutely.
I know your team's the same, Reese.
Yeah, definitely. And just looking through the field at the moment, it looks like Fusion Sim Racing is on pole in GT3 at the moment.
No, Pleb Sim Sports just got him.
Oh, really? Damn.
That's the semi team, isn't it?
Well, not
Former
anymore.
alliance.
Not anymore. Yeah. Lewis Kugerly currently at the wheel of that car. Left us in March, but he looks to be having quite a bit of fun at the wheel of the number 273, ahead of the slowest GTE car, which is the Race on Oz machine. But yeah, Fusion Sim Racing, our new recruit, Alexander Bird, really doing well for himself there in the low 58s, getting very close to Kugerly, who I know is a very good operator in the GT3s. Having a look at the GTE class, it looks like Element Motorsports is currently on top. John Piesnick at the wheel of that machine. He's currently exiting the pit lane to go out and have another crack at improving his pole position time. He's about 4/10 ahead of the number 125 Evolution Racing Team entry that has Ryan O'Sullivan at the wheel. And in third place currently in GTE is the Sky VR46 Racing Team entry, with Paul Mansell currently driving that car.
The driver's got about 3 minutes left in qualifying. It's going to be really interesting to see between the lower guys in GTE and the top guys in GT3, with the speed difference between them being not much at the moment. Could potentially get very, very messy.
Yeah, it certainly could. I know from my experiences in IMSA, particularly in the lower splits, these Daytona prototypes, they don't have tire warmers compared to the GTEs and the GT3s. So when they come out of the pits, their tires are super, super cold. And at the start of the race, oh boy, they end up running almost slower than the GT3 cars. So you need to be really careful if you're at the head of the GTE field to leave a gap to the Daytona prototypes and give each other a bit of breathing room so that there aren't any calamities on the first lap. Even then, as the tires still aren't up to temperature, some Daytona prototype drivers make mistakes, And I remember at least 2 occasions where I rounded a corner and found a Daytona prototype in the middle of the road standing still. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed it doesn't happen tonight. I know that I was watching your race replay up on YouTube this morning, and I remember there were a few colourful words about the guys not actually breaking up the pack to ensure that there was no incidents, and it ended up quite messy. So hopefully there's a little bit of smart play happening tonight, but the guys at the front of GTE are very, very experienced, so I'm sure that they will back off and let the DP class move on through. Just so you're aware, the colour coding we'll try and have up on the screen for most of the night. We'll try and have the top 4 in each class up for most of the night. And yellow designates the DP class, GTE in blue, and GT3 in red. And we'll feature the team names throughout, so the on-screen graphics may not show what drivers are in the car, but we do have the live timing up on our website, v8online.com/live-timing, and it is in the description in our YouTube link. So if you are wanting to check out the live timing while you're watching as well, we have it available for you to look at.
Certainly do, and a very good system indeed, especially for something like this, these multi-class series. It's been a long time since we regularly broadcast multi-class racing, so yeah, this style of racing, it's had a presence in the AusNZ community for quite some time, but only now in the last few years has it really started to gain some traction again after Grand Am and Proto GT stopped being broadcast by us. Fortunately, we're bringing it back. And yeah, we've got some very strong fields at the moment as we're entering the final 30 seconds of qualifying. Seeing if there's anyone on laps at the moment. It looks like Wayne Taylor is starting a lap in Performance Motorsports chassis number 3, the Ford.
Yeah, his current best lap is a 56.7. They are in 11th in class, 16th outright. Sorry, Reese.
Yep. That's all right. There's about 7 or 8 tenths he's got to make up to the car in front of him, which is the 185 Proforce Racing entry, as the checkered flag flies in this session. So the pressure will be on Wayne Taylor, and yeah, noticing that of course his number is 674. He's done. His number is 674, which technically is a violation of the series rules. The DPs are supposed to have just a 2-digit number. GTEs are supposed to have a 1. GT3s have a 2. So a small mistake, but fortunately he's still showing up as a GTE entry. So that'll be no problem on the broadcast side.
Yeah, I think it's a bit easier for us than it is for the guys out on the track, because we can differentiate the classes a little bit easier. Of course, iRacing system doesn't automatically differentiate between the classes in a hosted session unless they're all different cars. So we've got 2 different groups of cars linked up together in 2 different classes. So everyone has to be paired up together, unfortunately. So we've got Ross Rizzo on screen. I think he's one of the last guys on a lap.
Yeah, Ross Rizzo in the Proforce Racing gene.
One of the few Ford GTs out there.
Certainly. Where is he at the moment?
Just coming through the chicane. He's in P10 outright, P5
yes.
in class.
Proforce Racing Kiani, number 184. See,
there you go.
I have the excuse that it's only round 1 and I still have to get used to what all the cars are numbered. I'm too used to seeing the car numbers from Endurance Sports Car Championship that I compete in, so this is a little bit of a shift. Ross Rizzo, though, really formidable driver in GT3s along with Sean Thompson. They've been giving our boys a hard time in GT3 in the ESCC series, and they seem to have done very well for themselves here in the GTEs, currently lining up in 5th in class at the moment. So it looks like the session is over, and I'm unsure if anyone else will be finishing laps. Looks like we have got a few out on track, but yeah, they must be done.
Yeah, they're all done. So we'll run through the grid. So the DP grid will be LP Racing, the TTR team, driven by Luis Pello-Gallen. Then we've got Redback Racing Team Red. Then we've got PMS number 67, Clint Smith at the wheel in qualifying. Redback Racing Team Black, and then Race on Oz, Stephen Lattimore piloting that car for qualifying.
Yep, the GTE grid will be as follows. In pole position, Element Motorsports with John Peacenicker, an incredible GT driver at the wheel of that one. Evolution Racing Team number 125 lines up in second with Sky VR46 Racing Team in third place. Evolution Racing Team takes up fourth as well, with Proforce Racing, Kiani number 184 in fifth. Natari Autosports, JMSR Racing, Laser Racing, BSB Racing, Proforce Racing number 185, Performance Motorsports, BSB Racing, Performance Motorsports number 189, and Race on Oz 2 are going to finish out the GTE grid, and the GT3 grid will be Pleb Sim Sport, Fusion Sim Racing, One Performance Racing, FSR number 247, the ERT Hornets, Race on Oz, Performance Motorsports Chassis 4, Dynamic Sim Racing 251, and Revolution Racing Team rounding out the field. So that's everyone that set a time, at least. Looks like the Gardner Motorsport, no relation to me, just to avoid the question getting asked in future. I
was going to ask
in
that.
Practice or qualifying. Yes, I could sense that. Thought better get that out of the way.
Get it in
now.
early.
Yeah, I'm of no relation to Griffin Gardner.
So the driver's lining up on the back straight, ready to move away and commence this race. 3 hours of racing, predicting around about 97 laps by the looks of it. Fairly warm track, 37 degrees, and fairly low wind, so it shouldn't affect the guys under braking, shouldn't have too many issues. But yeah, 3 hours of racing here at Suzuka. Really looking forward to it. We'll try and do our best to get through everyone and feature everyone on the screen at some point throughout the night. We'll do our best.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty of time to do it. A 3-hour race, obviously. We need a bit of fuel to get through that. I've got some bespoke creaming soda to keep me company during this broadcast. What about you, Jay?
I actually got myself some cordial tonight. I got some cooler lime cordial. How's that?
Very nice.
And,
It's been a long time since I've had cordial.
Oh, I love my cordial. With some lemonade's always good too. How's that?
Yeah.
We haven't even started the race and we're already talking food.
Yeah,
I love it.
We certainly are. Well, the pace car is rolling away. The DP field follows, and the GTE field is leaving a nice substantial gap to the Daytona prototypes. Now, we've got a bit of an interesting situation here in terms of qualifying times. Looks like... oh no. Don't mind me. I thought for a moment that there was a Ford GT in amongst the GT3s, but it's a Ford GT in the midst of a sea of Ferraris.
And the race on Oz car that actually did qualify behind Lewis Kugley, he has started from the pits, so that's quite a good move from those guys.
Well, Luis Polo Gallon has led the field away in the DPs at the start, getting a good jump. And it looks like already Clint Smith trying to make some moves on Daniel Benefield. The GTEs are going to come to a start behind them.
Oh, big crash!
Oh, yeah?
Contact between two. There was the Ford. I can't quite work out what it was. It was the 153, I'm pretty sure. Into the side of one of the other cars. Not too sure. We'll try and pick up a replay very, very soon.
Yeah,
The
already
GT3s
some
get away
damage on that
as
car.
well. So that's positive. Saying that,
Looking
just seeing
like,
Corey Preston may have been the one that was involved. He's actually out of the car and into the pits already.
It looks like Michael Hammond of Laser Racing made rear quarter contact with James Foster. Looks like Hammond tried to go down the middle of Foster and Preston. Foster moved over on him a little bit, not realizing he was there probably, and then smacked into the side of Preston.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for Corey Preston. He's ended up involved in incidents everywhere at the moment. Even when he's not involved in anything, he's getting involved. So that's very unfortunate for him. But it looks like it's already race done. But
Wow.
a long time to go.
Yeah, very much so. There's, you can always come back from big incidents and races this long. So keep trying, Corey. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the finish. Pick up some positions while you're at it. But either way, at the moment in GT3, it's looking like Lewis Kugeley has led the field away in the Pleb Sim Sport car. Dylan Shepherd for One Performance Racing has taken up position number 2. Alexander Bird following close behind for Fusion Sim Racing in car number 246.
Yeah, And up the front two cars of Lewis Gallon and Daniel Benefield, LP Racing and Redback Racing, they've pulled away from the rest of the DP field, but Clint Smith is under a bucket load of pressure. Have a look at this, right behind him, and actually passing now is the Redback Racing Team black car.
Yep, Warren Pickering at the wheel of the Redback Racing Team black car there. Meanwhile, have a look behind Clint again. Benjamin J. Smith for Race on Oz will obviously be looking to put one up the inside of Mr. Smith at some point in the future as well.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to remember that it's a fairly long race, so think logically. Hearing that there'll be 3 pit stops for the DP field, with a shorter stint somewhere in the middle of it.
Yeah, that seems about right.
GTE, I've heard it'll be 3 stops as well, potentially 2, depending on how they go. You'll probably confirm that more than me, having teammates out there, maybe? You'll know more about GT3 than me.
Yeah, we don't have any cars in GTE, so yeah, GT3, the fuel tank lasts about, I don't know, an hour and 15 or so in the Merc, so yeah, probably a 2-stop would be the way to go.
Blake Neck and Paul Mansell battling over the last spot inside the top 3 in GTE. Evolution Racing Team, Ferrari, all sorts of crossed up through Spoon. You could hear the car sliding through the middle of Spoon. That's compromised his run.
Spoon, an extremely difficult corner. I think the most difficult corner on this entire circuit. Always seems to be a problem corner for me personally, but yeah, I think Suzuka is basically like every corner's a challenging corner, but I think Spoon just edges the rest of them out a little, as Paul Mansell is very conservative through the chicane, not taking too much of the curbs there.
I'll tell you what, I love the sound of these Ferraris.
Oh yeah.
They are such a beautiful car, and I cannot believe, I never ever thought that we would see Ferrari on iRacing, but how amazing is it that we've actually got it? I never ever thought we'd have it.
Oh no, got a spinner. That's the P2 GTE. That's Ryan O'Sullivan. Evolution Racing Team number 125. He's got a Ford coming up behind him, but he gets up to speed. Ross Rizzo now right on the back of him. That's not what Ryan O'Sullivan would have wanted from position number 2 in class. John Piesnek has got a huge gap now over Paul Mansell.
Yeah, I just saw at the same time as you said there was a spin. There was another spin back in the field, Simon Mazzomo as well. So we'll try and get a replay of both of those spins.
Yes, indeed. But as we're talking about that, yeah, Ferrari on iRacing, incredibly significant. Like it's been a really good past couple of years for people who have stuck with iRacing for a very long time. Like back when iRacing first went public in 2008, 2009, it was sort of a given that it would be just American content, and you know, not too much in terms of like the big pro stuff that was happening. As we've got another spinner, that's Dylan Shepherd. Suffering a spin in the One Performance Racing Mercedes, and he's stuck across the track. He wants to get going as soon as he can. He manages to do so without taking any other cars. Good stuff. I'm gonna have a look and see
almost
how
cleaned up. I'm not sure which car it was that he almost cleaned up there. It might have been the Fusion Sim Racing car. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, looks like it. Oh, Alexander Bird, yeah, very nearly went into him, but fortunately, both he and Dylan have managed to keep it clean.
Have a look at the battle for the outright lead.
Oh yeah.
LP Racing, Lewis Pellegallon in the number 21 green machine. Right behind him is the Redback Racing Team with Daniel Benefield at the wheel in the number 34, separated by under half a second.
Yeah, Benefield having raced against him in the past, he's a very, very fast driver, very difficult to beat. But Luis Polo Gallon obviously has the advantage of that win in the IMSA series on this very same track and these very same conditions. Benefield, though, have a look at him just closing up under brakes.
Got another spin of the laser racing car with Michael Hammond at the wheel, spun at turn 2. Let's see if we can pick up a replay.
Spinning in this race.
A lot of guys, I think, aren't quite prepared for the weather. Very, very slick track, very, very different conditions to what the IMSA series ran through the week last week.
It's actually pretty much the same, Jay. 27-degree track. That's about what we saw in IMSA.
Okay. I'll shut up then.
I was going to say, when you said a 37-degree track temp at the start of the race, I looked and I went, no, the 3 is a 2.
The overlays are showing as 36, so...
Really? Well,
Not sure.
In sim it's saying partly cloudy, 22 degrees Celsius air temp, track temp 27. So pretty much the same conditions as the IMSA
Interesting.
race.
We'll work out as to why those numbers are different.
Yes,
Maybe
that is a
one
kink
day.
we will have to iron out at some point.
Maybe. Maybe we'll never be able to iron that kink out.
Who knows? What matters is we've got a race on our hands at the moment,
For
and it looks
sure.
like things have calmed down just a little bit. Lewis Kugerly with a really big gap now over Alexander Bird in GT3. Having a look at the battle behind them though for third and fourth in GT3. Martin Zilvassi for the Evolution Racing Team Hornets versus Trent Thomas in the number 247 Fusion Sim Racing car. Being teammates with Trent, I know that he loves his GT3s. There's actually been a bit of good-natured ribbing going on in our private team chat about the fact that he likes having cars with ABS and traction control. He likes to drive them especially hard, so he'll be enjoying himself out there at the moment.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what I enjoy driving anymore. I don't drive, so... Maybe I should do that one day. Actually do a race.
You should. That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah, nah. The last one I did didn't go too well, so we won't do any more.
Ah, mate, it was dirt oval,
another
wasn't
spin.
it? It was fun.
No, the last one I
really?
did was actually Formula 1, the race on Oz 2 car,
Oh,
the
yeah.
151. Matt Allison
Yeah, true.
has spun again at turn 2.
Goodness me.
You
Not.
know,
I'm
hang on. For the lead. It's on for the
Oh,
lead.
yeah? Oh, for the overall lead.
Overall lead.
Oh,
So
yeah,
try
very,
and
very
get a replay,
close
but
now.
we'll ignore the replay and go back live.
Yeah, very close now between Gallon and Benefield. Benefield in the draft. Oh, and he's having internet issues. Blinking a little bit. He's going to try and he's going to have a look at the inside into 130R.
John Peisnick's just spun out of the lead in GTE as
no.
well, so we'll get a replay of that. A few
This
comments in the chat saying the extra fuel load is throwing a few drivers off potentially because there's a lot more fuel in the car than what we saw
Yeah.
in GT or in IMSA, I should say.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Very fair point because it's what a 45%
Yeah,
fuel cap.
I think it was a 45
Something
litre
like that.
tank or something. Yeah, that was just a
Yeah.
real lazy spin there for the Element Motorsports 113 machine with John Peisnick at the wheel, and that's
Well,
dropped
that's,
him back to 5th.
That's an incident that we've seen repeated quite a few times in this race so far. We're not even a quarter of an hour into the race, and we've already seen most of the spins that have happened have been just due to drivers losing it on their own, which I find a little bizarre.
Front of GTE is very, very hot. We've got Paul Mansell in the sky, VR46 Racing Team. Of course, VR46 standing for Valentino Rossi, if you were trying to work out what the VR46 stood for. Evolution Racing Team in the 116 in second, Blake Neck at the wheel, and Ryan O'Sullivan, who was in P2 earlier, now worked his way back up to P3.
Yes, indeed. Have a look at Ryan O'Sullivan now behind Blake Neck. Of course, these guys being teammates at ERT. He'll want to make this pass pretty clean. Having a look back up the front, it's still very much on for the overall lead between Benefield and Gallon. Gallon going to the inside. Oh, Benefield round the outside at turn 1. Not able to get it done. Oh, but he's going to go for the over-under on Gallon. Unfortunately, he's got about a quarter of a track's worth of S's that he now has to deal
lap
with.
traffic too.
Oh yes, they've just come up to the first GT3s. Well, they're let by very promptly by Isaac Edwards for Revolution Racing Team. Next traffic up the road is the race on Oscar, Matt Allison at the wheel. Oh, have a look at how deep Benefield's going under brakes. He is really desperate to get by Gallon here.
Second in GTE's change of position down the front straight. Teammates didn't make it too hard for each other. Rhino
Good
Sullivan
stuff.
through on Blake Neck, but we'll go back to the front.
Yeah, it's they're treating this almost like a bit of a sprint race. These guys.
They do realise that there's about 92 or so laps left in this race, don't they?
Maybe they're just
Obviously not.
Trying to get all the sprint race energy out of their system before they settle in for some endurance style lapping. Maybe let their teammates take over if they have teammates. I wonder how many people are going to solo this.
I'm fairly sure the 21 is going solo. I'm not 100% sure on the 34 though.
Well, I mean, if you like the car, then fair enough.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
3 hours feels like a long way for me. 30 minutes I'd be done. Drenched in sweat no more. Wouldn't be able to go on.
I'll tell you what, after 2.5 years worth of racing the HPD, bloody 1 hour is nothing to me now. Like the world is moving at 500 miles an hour for me all the time.
Another change of position back in the field with the BSB Racing 192. Chris Burnell at the wheel. He's just got ahead of Blake Neck in the 116 as well. So he's dropped back through the field quite quickly. He's dropped back to 6th in class.
I'm wondering if he's had an incident. Yeah, he had a spin at Spoon.
Okay.
Just, had a little bit of a tank slapper moment at the first apex of Spoon, and yeah, that sent him round. Well, the top two overall are now...
oh, and he's in the lane.
Oh, that's quite early. Maybe he suffered a little bit of floor damage or something.
Yeah, potentially.
The top two overall have come up to Simon Mazzomo for Dynamic Sim Racing in the Audi GT3. I come to him in a good part of the track. He's just going to let them by on the run up to Spoon. No trouble there.
Fair bit of damage to the back of that car as well. So that rear wing looking a little bit more... It's definitely not a wing. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Oh, it's on for position in GT3. Dylan Shepherd just passing Matt Stratford at the chicane. Performance Motorsports versus One Performance. So after Shepherd's spin, he's making his way back up the field. That's going to put him up to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in class. Stratford's not letting him get away with it, though. He's keeping with him quite a bit.
He's doing a really good job just to hold on there. A little bit of damage to the front of that 204 car, the One Performance Racing Mercedes.
Now the top two have come up to Matt Allison in the S's. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's going to move out of the way. Good move. Those guys will be very appreciative of that. We're only 15 minutes into this race. It's going to be a long way to go.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. The class versus class dichotomy around here at Suzuka, it's a fair bit more stress-inducing than what you see at most other circuits because there's so many long turns here at this track, especially between the GTEs and the GT3s. It gets quite interesting in traffic. Benefield, again, trying to get around Gallon.
Saying that, I've been surprised how clean, for the most part, the racing's been throughout the week here at Suzuka.
Yeah.
Most of the racing has been fairly clean. I won't say the whole lot of the racing's been clean, but for the most part, the multi-class style of racing here has been fairly clean, with the new cars being released, a few drivers being introduced to multi-class racing for the first time.
Just a little bit of an update. The ERT number 116 is continuing to fall down the field.
Yeah, he's still in the pits, so not sure what's happened there. Benefield thought about having a look, and a mistake from Gallon.
Oh, here we go.
Benefield's got
it's
to
going
run.
to happen. Yep, Gallon running wide out of the last turn. Gallon's going to move right over to the inside. Benefield sees it happening and decides to try around the outside again. They're going to go side by side almost through turn 1, not quite. Benefield lets them go again. I've just noticed that Aaron C. Lee has connected to the server.
Oh,
so
there we go. I reckon he'll be in the 34 car. At a guess?
Yeah, certainly. That's how they seem to have operated in other series, so wouldn't be surprised if Aaron takes over soon.
Aaron, our featured driver of the week on our Facebook page.
Yes, indeed. Sort of like our Facebook page, V8's Online, to
Good plug, mate. Good plug.
receive updates on our broadcasts. Have a look at our broadcast schedule, find out a bit more about us.
Benefield all sorts of crossed up. I thought he was going to loop it as they come past. Fairly sure that's Stratford.
Yep, so Shepherd's next in line at the moment. Managed to gap Stratford quite nicely. So Gallon's going to go past Shepherd before Spoon. What about Benefield? Oh,
No.
Shepherd's going to go wide. Benefield's going to stick one up the inside. Oh,
That
you
was
could tell
messy.
Shepherd wasn't quite expecting him to be there.
The lead in GTE is well and truly on still between Mansell and O'Sullivan.
Yeah, certainly is. Looking very good, this battle. Meanwhile, looks like John Peisnick has... he hasn't lost all that much ground after his spin. In fact, he's making up ground on these guys.
Yeah, last lap time for these three in this little pack that's about to form. Peisnick 8/10 quicker than Mansell, so it won't be long before he's there. Another 2 laps and he'll be right on his tail.
Incredible stuff. You know, I've seen John over the years quite a bit. Ever since it was just the McLaren, the BMW, and the Roof RT12R in GT3. He's always been super quick. So it's good to see him having a go in this series.
He's, in a way, made the step up from GT3 into GTE, which I absolutely love. Very, very different cars. You think they're very, very similar, but they're very, very different beasts.
GTE cars with no ABS for one.
Oh, here we go. Move, dive.
Oh,
O'Sullivan up
side
onto
by
the...
side through the chicane.
Oh,
Oh, trying to
Won't be
get
able
the
to do
over-under done, but he's just not able to. Hang on a minute. Have a look at this. Paul Mansell versus Ryan O'Sullivan down the front straight. Ah. Stay in his slipstream, Ryan.
this is going to help Peisnick 1.2 seconds quicker that time by.
Wow. Yeah, he's on a mission, is John.
This is a great battle, though.
Yeah, certainly is. Really cool to see, especially through these S's, see elements of different driving styles of these drivers. Like, I'm noticing see that title line that Ryan O'Sullivan is taking compared to Paul Mansell, using a tiny bit more of the curbs, maybe touching the brakes a little bit more. Ryan O'Sullivan's brakes are spiking, I'm noticing. His brake lights are switching on and off.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. Hopefully there's no issue there. In saying that, possibly if we're hearing the pit windows correct, we're probably well and truly out, but if there is 3 stops, they could possibly stop soon, do a driver swap if needed. For the guys in the chat, if they're asking the question, yes, it does follow the official IMSA series schedule, so we obviously ran last week at Suzuka. That's given guys a full week of practice here at Suzuka, so this is the last race for these guys at Suzuka, and next week we'll be off to Watkins Glen. Full week of racing at Watkins Glen. We've got V8 Supercar in the official series, the Premier series, we've got IMSA there as well, the EMR Super Cup, and of course we'll be there next Tuesday night for the Midweek Sportscar Championship.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Hopefully I can get a bloody setup sorted for my Ford. I had loads of trouble trying to get it together at Watkins today. It's so annoying. Like, Watkins seems like the simplest track in the world, but it's so easy to get it wrong. I'm like 3 seconds off at the moment. I need to work on my my strategy.
Another 0.6 of a second that time by for Peisnick over Mansell. So the gap from first in class back to third is now 1.6 seconds.
Going to become a 3-car train very soon.
Battle at the front of the field settled a little. Won't say a lot. It's definitely settled a little. It's out to about 0.6 of a second, so got one eye on that. The front of GT3 well and truly pulling away is Lewis Kugeley, but the battle for second in that class, second, third and fourth, is on between Bird, Selassie and Thomas. But we'll stay with this battle in GTE.
Yeah, looking pretty good. You can see the gap visually getting smaller as Peisnick catches up to the back of O'Sullivan, who in turn is continuing to catch up to the back here. Oh, a little bit of a slide from Ryan O'Sullivan. That's going to let him go. Through goes John Peisnick. Is it Peisnick or Peisnick? I have absolutely no idea. John,
whichever way we guess, it'll be wrong.
If you're hearing us, please let us know how to pronounce your last name. I would assume if it follows usual naming conventions, an I and then an E is an E sort of sound, as opposed to an I, which is an E and an I.
I see pie and it makes me hungry in front of his name, but anyway. Let's broken up this battle now. Mansell will now see a different coloured car in his rear vision mirror. Fluoro blue car.
Yeah.
The Element Motorsport. They always have awesome looking liveries, the Element Motorsport crew. Love the colour scheme on their cars.
Yeah, very true. I like that little symbol on the hood of John's car.
Last time
Look at
by 7/10 gain.
So 7/10 is Snickers pie on Paul Mansell. I just came up with that. Well chuffed with myself.
Well done.
Hooray! Do I get a cookie, Jay?
Yeah. Go and see catering.
Well, we have catering.
No.
Oh.
Oh my.
You get a glimpse into the work life at V8's
Welcome
Online
to
here,
V8's Online.
people.
Peasnick, we're hearing Peasnick.
Yeah. Alrighty.
We'll get it wrong whichever way we try. But we'll keep an eye on this because I'm fairly sure the 113 Element Motorsport Ferrari will be there by the end of the next lap, possibly midway through next lap.
Oh no!
Something's happened.
Yeah, Peasnick lifting off.
Has he got to slow down, or is there an actual problem?
Oh, he's braking. What's going on?
This is strange.
Okay, let's just. I'm just rewinding a little to see what happened. No slowdown.
He just put his foot on the throttle and it just didn't go. It's really strange.
Maybe it's a hardware problem. No, he's going again. What on earth happened there?
That's really strange.
Okay, well, we'll have to get some news, some insider information, if at all possible, because I've never seen that happen before. Might have been a technical issue. May have just had someone come into his sim room.
Scared him.
Throw him off a little.
We've heard of cats jumping on people's laps mid-race and scaring people. We said Mazomo correctly. That's good.
Yep.
At least we got something right. Hey, the last position in DP has actually started to get really hot. Benjamin Smith right on the tail of the Redback Racing Team Black Warren Pickering.
Well, yeah, it's looking like a spicy battle.
John forgot to turn the iron off. Maybe.
I think that might be a joke.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. Looking at Benjamin Smith though, he's in the slipstream of Pickering down the front straight, and he's going to go up the inside at turn 1 for sure. Yeah, Pickering brakes earlier. Smith goes through, just feathering the brakes, trying to keep the car under control for that turn 1 and 2 complex at Suzuka. Such an exhilarating set of turns to get right. One of my favourite opening corners in all of motorsports. But Benjamin Smith is going to go through and take position 4 in the Daytona prototype class.
We're just hearing a car off the track just ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And a big slide from Benjamin Smith.
Ouch. Yeah, very easy to do at that part of the circuit. That very tiny curb. Oh, and there at Degner 1, he just caught the grass a little bit. He catches the grass again. Benjamin, calm yourself, son. Does Pickering will be liking what he sees there. They're coming up now to Lewis Kugerly, current GT3 class leader. They'll be coming up to him very soon. They'll probably get him on the back straight. If not just after 130R.
Side by side for 4th position in GTE, we've got the 153, the 185 and the 113 all together now.
Oh, Warren Pickering just went up the inside of Lewis Kugerly, sorry, at 130R. Little bit of a compromising position there, but fortunately they both managed to get through. Yeah, this battle here is incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a really close, tight battle. The interesting with only the one Ford GT left in the race, with Blake Neck out of the race.
Oh, here we go. Thompson trying to look up the inside. He's got Peaceneck behind him, though. Oh, have a look at this. So, Thompson managed to get up the inside of Foster. So the Natari Autosports machine slots in behind, and Peaceneck is seeing these two cars in front of him. Probably not liking so much the not clear track in front of him.
No, I think he's actually cringing a little bit looking at the battle that's happening just ahead. I think he wants these guys to settle themselves out, work his way back through, and then push on again. Here he goes.
Here we go. Oh, very close. Peaceneck slamming on the brakes, probably downshifting a little bit to try and get past James Foster. And Thompson running a little wide in the first part of the chicane. This is going to get Peaceneck right up to the back of him.
That issue that we saw with Peaceneck definitely hurt him, because he is now, 15 seconds off that battle he was in before.
Oh, Thompson and Peaceneck. Oh, dear. Trying to go side by side through turn 1.
They've done it.
Yeah, I tell you what. Sean Thompson is nothing if not brave in that section of the track.
Commitment plus. Hey, look at the battle for the lead in this class. The 5 and the 125.
Yeah,
nose to tail.
On. It's definitely on. Have a look at how much curb Ryan O'Sullivan's taking in Degner 2. Can't do that in the Ford GT. Cough, cough.
Wink, wink. So half an hour through this race, we've got 150 minutes to go, and that first 30 minutes has absolutely flown by.
We got some news from the broadcast chat about Peaceneck's issue. Apparently it was his pit limiter turning on unexpectedly. Yep. So
that sort of matches up to what we were thinking, because he definitely got off the throttle, changed gears unexpectedly in a strange way, so that would match up with what we saw on board.
Well, either way, it's given him quite the challenge to try and make his way back up to the front by the end of the race. Like at the... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, O'Sullivan. Gaining in the mid-corner on Mansell. Also taking a tighter line out of the last corner. Like O'Sullivan's sort of fallen back a little. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, down the front straight, it looked like he... don't know what happened down the front straight, whether he's missed a gear or something, I'm not sure.
You know what? I saw him sort of lift off a bit earlier before 130R as well. Might he be saving fuel?
Potentially could be. A little bit of a strange ploy to be doing that now. Oh, in saying that, I don't know. I don't do enough racing to know what's good and what's bad anymore.
And I have no idea what the fuel usage is like in the Ferrari. All I know is the Ford drinks like a teen on New Year's Eve.
Oh, hey, oh.
Hmm.
Well done.
Well, in GT3, I'm gonna have a look and see if there are any battles on
Yeah,
at the
second,
moment.
third, fourth is definitely
Oh,
well
yeah.
and truly on.
Yeah,
Between
that's
your take off your team manager's hat. Nah.
there we go.
Enjoy.
Done. It's lying on the floor. Please don't crash into each other, guys.
So
So yeah, it's
Plebs
two
Import's
FSR entries.
got a massive gap over the two FSR cars, and then the HRT Hornets entry as well is right in amongst it.
Yeah, certainly is. Very very nice battle we're seeing here at the moment. Of course, we do mention quite a lot when teammates are on track together. You know, it's in their best interests not to get in each other's way, and it's no different here. Of course, we'll be up to Silvassi to try and make his way through this mini pack. We go on.
Just looking at Ross Rizzo, he's currently P3 in GTE. He's having some internet issues and potentially... No, the lap's counted. I was just looking on the timing. It looked like the lap may have put him a lap down, but it looks like it's actually registered the lap, so he's still in P3. But
well, as you say that, he disappears again.
Yeah, he's well and truly disappeared, and he's dropping down the timesheet. No, he's back again, so...
Hang in there, Ross. Oh, dear. Oh, no, his car's going haywire at the moment.
Now, first driver looks like they're in for their proper pit stop, the Laser Racing entry of Michael Hammond. Kept one eye on that, but he's in the lane. He was in P8 in class in GTE.
Yeah, of course, as we mentioned, he was involved in that incident at the start. What is he doing? I think he's quitting. Yep. There he goes.
Done.
He's gone and disconnected from the server. Alright then. Well.
Oh, something's happened. Lewis Gallen's spun.
Oh no.
Lewis Gallen's had an incident and he's lost the lead of this race.
He's got big damage as well on the back of his car.
It rolled back into the wall.
Oh wow, he already had a little bit of quarter damage on the front of his car. He just lost it over the green curb at Degner 2, and in his efforts to get out of the way of oncoming traffic, he just, wow, put it right into the wall. So, big damage.
Oh, he rolled it back into that wall quite aggressively, didn't he?
Would have absolutely destroyed the diffuser. So, I don't know how long he's going to spend in the pits as a result of that.
Benjamin Smith, Warren Pickering is on again. We saw a pass earlier, probably about 15 minutes ago, between Smith and Pickering, with Pickering dropping back to 5th.
More info from the broadcast chat from Ben Wilkinson. 2.6 litres per lap for the Ferrari. That's about 2.9 at Suzuka for the Ford. So, yeah, the Ferrari definitely more fuel efficient, but the Ford has a little bit of a bigger fuel tank.
Lewis Gallon in the pits, so keep an eye on him. But it's a battle between Smith and Pickering. Definitely a good one at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking as though we're getting some confirmation from Evolution Racing Team that Ryan O'Sullivan's brakes are definitely sticking. He's losing 5 kilometres an hour down the straights.
Yeah, good pickup there, Reese. Well done. Alexander Bird, Trent Thomas. Thomas is right there, thought about making a move. Pulls out of it. Slassie's here. Oh, I thought he was going to be close enough to make a dive.
Yeah. Thomas's line getting compromised a little into the chicane, but those two FSR cars look to be able to get a bit of a jump on him down the front stretch.
Great battle, though.
Yeah, certainly. Dream into turn 1 once again. Oh, hello.
Move done.
Yeah.
There we go. We weren't ready for that.
Yeah, definitely not. As Luis Polo Gallon comes out of the pits with his car fully repaired, just behind them, he's lost quite a bit of time.
Car doesn't look too bad in comparison to what it was before the stop. And that's that half stint we were sort of talking about done for him. So he'll have 2 more stops around about 45 minutes each or 50 minutes each. But the car actually has come out of that looking not too bad.
Yeah, certainly. Very good damage repair on that thing at the moment.
That battle at the front of GTE is still going on between Mansell and O'Sullivan. They're still battling. Still the same gap as what they've had for a while. They're not far off getting lap traffic.
Yep, they got... Sorry, go on.
Excuse me, I just had to sneeze there.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bit full on, right at the wrong time. Just getting lap traffic coming through, and they're about to have the leaders of DP class come up behind them too. So probably good that they got past that GT3 car there, as opposed to when the DPs come through. And change of position for now P3 in the DP class, with Warren Pickering getting through on Benjamin Smith.
Yeah, certainly. And looks like he may have made his way past at turn 1. Oh no, he did it out of the last chicane. It looks like Benjamin Smith ran wide.
Oh, here he comes again. Oh, Smith on the grass to try and potentially get a move.
This is a fun battle. Look at Pickering all over the curbs. Oh, both of them sliding out of Digna too. This is so... Oh! Jeez, guys, this is the kind of stuff we'd expect on the last lap, not before 45 minutes are done of a 3-hour race.
This is great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. It's their tyres, not mine.
Yep. It's their race that could potentially be done if they actually make contact too. Now, is O'Sullivan close enough? Yes, here we go. Down the front straight. He's in the draft. He might actually be able to get this done this time.
Yeah, it's very, very slow, this slipstream. Pulls out. No.
No.
Oh, look out, though. Paul Mansell running wide in turn 1. Will he be able to get it pulled up for turn 2? Oh,
yes.
Not quite. He leaves a little bit of room, though, for O'Sullivan to have a look up the inside. But
Good bit of driving there.
yeah, very good.
I think both these guys are very experienced, so they understand how multi-class driving works and the endurance racing works. Make sure you give each other room, plenty of time. If you lose a spot, it doesn't matter. You've still got 2.5 hours or just under to go.
Yeah, certainly. As we see once again, Ryan O'Sullivan's brakes just stuck a tiny little bit there out of Dunlop curve.
That'd be so frustrating too.
Oh yeah,
being in that situation.
I remember when I had a sticking brake pedal back when I was using my my G25. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. I think I had to take my pedals apart like 3 times and clean the potentiometers before it got somewhat back to normal again.
Smith has got back through on Warren Pickering, so we will keep one eye on that. But this battle for the lead in GTE is absolutely fascinating.
It certainly is. Oh, Jay, if you want to get a replay of the way Smith took the lead, I find it quite interesting. Because
do my best.
A little bit of lap traffic was involved. They came up to Chris Purnell in the BSB Racing Ferrari. Pickering went up the inside for turn 1. And as he attempted to get past him, he was slowed up at the apex. They went side by side, and Smith took the lead as they went 3 wide out of turn 1.
Yeah, got the replay up on screen now.
Absolutely incredible driving. Very brave move from Smith. Looked like Pickering and Purnell made a bit of contact there, unfortunately, but that happens sometimes, and yeah, that's how Smith got the position.
Back to this battle for the lead in GTE.
Oh, Smith and Pickering might be on again, Jay, sorry.
Yeah, can see that now with the lap traffic involved.
They both keep making small mistakes that put them into each other's clutches a little more. I think they'll have calmed down a bit now. They've got a bit of space between them. So yes, the battle for the lead in GTE.
We'll go back there again.
Yeah.
It's a good battle.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan O'Sullivan
I really hope that this continues after the pit stops as well.
Yeah, I hope so. They got a bit of traffic. Oh, a little bit of passing here. That's Benefield coming through.
Yeah.
That's going to break them up slightly. Benefield round the outside of 200R. Fantastic driving from all of these guys so far in this race. I think we're over that initial phase of people getting used to high fuel loads and spinning out a little bit, and everyone's just settled in now.
It's probably taken a little bit longer than we'd expected, but yeah, quite a few drivers saying that the track's quite slick in comparison to what it was for IMSA. In saying that, I'm fairly sure the weather is different because we were morning skies for IMSA, and this looks like it's late afternoon, I'm fairly sure.
It looks to me like it's morning, going by the direction of the shadows.
Okay, I'll shut up again.
It's alright, they're going through the eastern end of the circuit now, the lead GTEs. So... yeah, the sun
I don't
is
know my
in the
bearings
east.
that well.
Got to spend more time just wasting hours looking at Google Earth like me. But yeah, also need to note that the broadcasted IMSA race was fully overcast as well.
Yes,
so
correct,
there was a lot more grip available to the drivers. Have a look at O'Sullivan here. Once again, rolling up to the back of Mansell. They got anyone following them at the moment? No, it's just these two guys in their place on track at the moment. Ross Rizzo isn't giving them any trouble in that Pro Force Racing 4 GT.
Just behind him, though, the Element Motorsport Peisnick is starting to close up. I'm saying that the pace of Peisnick's definitely dropped from what we saw earlier. Oh, it's on again for P3. In DP, change of position once again. Pickering back through.
Great stuff. Wow.
So it looks like
Pickering went onto the grass to make that move.
Replay coming up now.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. Benjamin Smith
lost
it on the exit of Digna too. Yeah.
Oh, out on the grass.
Jeez, that is an incredible move there. Both of these drivers have done some absolutely insane
leading
things
GTEs
in this
on
race. Yeah.
Side by side.
Oh, yep, and it looks like O'Sullivan's finally going to get through on Mansell.
I'll grab a replay of that because we did just catch the end of it. So we'll watch it once again. But that'll be a relief for O'Sullivan because he's been trying for the last 40 odd minutes to get that move done.
Well, they've done a full IMSA race's worth of running at the moment, so only a few more to go.
Quarter of the way through, that's good.
Have a look at the gap that O'Sullivan's pulled on Mansell already.
Yeah, it's already out
quite
to
a bit of curve.
half a second already.
I think O'Sullivan was just biding his time with that maneuver. Oh, as I say that though, have a look at Mansell under brakes.
Yeah, that car of Mansell looks really, really good under brakes. This will be the first time he's really run in draft though, so we'll see how he goes with this. Oh, big mistake.
Ooh,
O'Sullivan
dear.
has looped
He's
it
round.
in spoon.
Oh, well, that's...
That can happen when you actually have been following a car for a long, long time. You finally take the lead in a class or pass a car. You can make a mistake really, really easily because you're not concentrating like you were before behind that other car.
Yeah, also the fact that these GTE cars, they're not as aerodynamically sensitive as the Daytona prototypes, but they still have quite a bit of downforce on them, and aero push affects them a fair bit. So in a corner like Spoon, which is really heavily dependent on aerodynamics, after following a car through there for so long, maybe O'Sullivan just wasn't prepared for the amount of front-end grip he was going to have.
Potentially that. And now these brake issues definitely won't be helping him as Ross Rizzo starts to close up. Peasnick as well was a second, 1.2 seconds quicker than Rizzo. So these three cars will be all together very, very soon.
They certainly will.
To see the number 67 with Clint Smith at the wheel in the lane.
Yep, waiting to see if that's going to be a driver change or not. Makes his way down Suzuka's very bumpy pit lane just in front of the garages.
Doesn't look
Seems to me
there's
like
a
he is
driver
going to
spot.
stay in that car.
Yeah, it looks like he's stuck in the seat.
Meanwhile, looks like Ross Rizzo versus Ryan O'Sullivan is really starting to heat up. O'Sullivan just made a mistake in the hairpin. As I say that, so did Rizzo. And of course, there's Peasnick behind them. As you said before, Jay, looking to come together in the next few laps, but wondering if it's about pit stop time for the GTEs.
Yeah, I can't think it would be too far off. Saying that, some guys might be trying to stretch it out to an hour. An hour would be good for most of the guys.
Oh no, have a look at O'Sullivan. Major brakes sticking in a straight line, and that's let Rizzo right by.
That's really unfortunate for O'Sullivan. I'm guessing they'll be holding out. Yeah, I'm guessing they'll be holding out for the pit window to open. They'll do a driver swap, and O'Sullivan may be able to get that worked on. And you can see the brake lights coming on around the corner there.
Oh, so frustrating. Yeah, absolutely. After taking the lead, to have something like that happen. Hey, who knows? Maybe the sticking brakes. Oh, as O'Sullivan goes off again.
Oh, this is painful.
Yeah,
this is definitely affecting his driving coming into the corners now.
It has to be the sticking brakes that cause those spins. Has to be. If the brakes just suddenly come on in the middle of a corner without you having any control over it, there's really not much you can do.
Yeah. As you see a change for the lead with the Redback Racing Team red car in the pits and back out on the track. The Redback Racing black car has continued on. The rest of the DP field are in the lane. Driver swap for the Race on Oscar with Lattimore jumping into the car.
Uh-huh. Be interesting to see how he does against this field.
So just one of our DP field left to pit. So it looks like 50 minutes is the limit for these guys. So 50, I believe, what, a 20, 30-minute stint for the short stint, which is what Gallon got in that early stint to get that damage fixed. So still could definitely be on between Benefield and Gallon with that incident that we saw.
Yeah, it certainly could. I mean, I'm looking at Gallon's laps, and he's certainly a lot quicker than most of the DP field at the moment. So who knows? He might be a factor in this race towards the end.
The battle for the last, or for second, third, fourth in GT3 is still going on. Trent Thomas has managed to pull a bit of a gap, but Alexander Bird and Martin Slassie, they're back down to half a second again.
Yeah, they certainly are, Jay. It's a very exciting battle to watch in GT3. I've got to take a little pit stop of my own, so I may have to leave you for a short while.
Go for it, mate.
Yep, I'll be back very, very soon. Hopefully nothing exciting happens while I'm gone.
Hopefully not overly exciting, as you see the Evolution Racing Team 125 car in the pits as well. So that will be potentially unscheduled due to the issues with his pedals. It might be getting too much, so change of strategy for these guys. Yep, driver swap happening as well. So Scott Larnack now into the car. And Ross Rizzo, John Peisnick has a massive slide and damage to the front of that car. See if we can pick up exactly what has happened there. But potentially a lap car has got involved somehow. Yeah, just contact between the One Performance racing car, Dylan Shepherd. Maybe thought that there was going to be room to get that done, but definitely was not. And that's a heartbreak for Peisnick, as he has a lot of damage to his car. Warren Pickering continuing on. He's actually about to come up to Peisnick, so I'm fairly sure we will see the Redback Racing black car in the lane this time by. And right on cue he is in, so that'll be field cleansed for the DP class. The battle for GT3 looking nice and racy. .246 with Alexander Bird at the wheel. Got Trent Thomas at the wheel of the 247 and the 010, the ERT Hornets car, Martin Splashy. Which is actually the fourth car in line here. Scott Larnack in the middle of this pack. No, it's not, sorry. It's not sure who it is. Driver change in the number 18 car with Sebastian Murray Westberg. Our former director here at V8 Online is back out on track. New signing for Redback Racing Team. Comes out just ahead of Stephen Lattimore. So 2 driver swaps in amongst these 2 cars, and they will fight it out just as they were prior to the round of pit stops. Something's happened to Sean Thompson. Run off the track at, pretty sure that is Spoon. Yep, definitely at Spoon. So we'll try and pick up a replay of exactly what's happened to Thompson. Currently P4 in class. So we're about to tick over the 1 hour mark in this race. Just on 2 hours left to go. All sorts of crossed up for Thompson, and almost had it. Round it goes. See the damage to Peisnick's car with the issue from earlier. Currently the last car on the lead lap outright. This has just been passed by the race leader, Daniel Benefield. Battle for the last 2 spots in DP class is well and truly on once again. Good to see Sebastian Murray Westberg back out on track after log absence behind the wheel. Sorry guys, just having some issues with my mic. Looks like I'm all fixed. So battle for P2 in GT3. It's definitely racy now. We've got 3 classes of cars all bunched up together. The RT Hornets car's definitely lost out as it goes through Ross Rizzo and also Daniel Benefield. We're just about to tick over that 1 hour mark in this race. But Lewis Kugley's doing a great job out in front in GT3. He's got an 18-second gap of thereabouts back to Trent Thomas. It's the next car in the field in GT3. Pleb Sim Sport. See Alexander Bird for Fusion Sim Racing, currently P3 in the GT3 class. Just behind his teammate in Trent Thomas, as we've got Ross Rizzo in the middle of those two on track. So we officially now have 6 cars out of the race. We still have 23 left on track, 5 in, well, all 5 of our DP class continuing on, 7 in the GT3 class continuing on, and 11 in GTE. 32 laps the leaders have done. So at this rate we should get about 99 or 98 laps from the lead group.
And Gardner returns.
Oh, hello. Good timing, because your teammates Thomas and Bird, that battle's split up a little bit. The lap traffic's brought them back together and split them up and brought them back, so
Ooh.
which is good to see. Slassie unfortunately got caught in the middle of a few lap cars and dropped back off the battle. Jeez, that was
Alexander
close.
Bird going right nose to tail there with Paul. Is it Mansell in front of him there?
Peasnick, I think, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is Peasnick. Alright, the paint scheme's confused for a second there.
It's
But
the
Peasnick
blue.
making his way through the GT3 field at the moment. He's got Trent Thomas in front of him. Peasnick on his quest to take back the lead, which seems to be getting harder and harder as the race goes on. But he's well past Thomas before 130R. Just a slight tap of the brakes is enough to get him through there.
Starting to see some pit stops happen in GTE with the Performance Motorsport number 2 car, Michael Taliancic behind the wheel in the pits. As we just tick over the 1 hour mark. There must have been an issue happen with Stephen Lattimore at some point, because he has dropped off behind Sebastian Murray-Westberg. They were fighting pretty hard, but not quite sure as to why there's a big gap there now. He's about 15 seconds off the pace.
Real shame about that. But yeah, Sebastian Murray-Westberg, the newest signing to... Oh no! Off into the wall is Seb.
Oh, here we go. Commentator's curse. This will be our fault.
Yep, it will be. Poor Seb's live streaming this on his own channel as well, so...
Mortified 666 if you're looking for it.
Yes, indeed. Is
Although you may not want to look at it now.
to.
Yes, Seb is a very good guy.
He is a good guy, Seb. Been looking for a team to join for the last few weeks.
That was strange, that one.
Yeah, it was. I think he just got loose on the curb.
It's just gone over the curb and onto the AstroTurf, and it's just slung him around. Very strange incident.
Yeah, that's a common thing that happened to me in the Ford GT. Just that light green AstroTurf, you get half a tire onto it, and all your grip just goes. So It's a real shame for Seb, but it looks like he does have a fair bit of damage on the front of that car, but it seems to be continuing on good enough.
The rear wing's still nice and straight, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, these Daytona prototypes make most of their downforce at the rear with the wing and the diffuser, so it doesn't matter too much if there's a little bit of front-end damage.
5th and 6th in GTE class is starting to get nice and close. The 153 and the 192. On board with the 192 of Chris Purnell, BSB Racing entry. Currently P6. Closed up the gap. It's been closing about 3 or 4 tenths a lap. Just up ahead, so James Foster in the Atari Autosports car. He is right there now.
Yeah, they've got a bit of lap traffic in front of them. Brakes on Oz too. Matt Allison there. He's going to let them by.
There we go.
No. Yep,
Into the
Foster
pits.
into the pits. So, remains to be seen whether he's going to stay in the car or whether he's going to hand over to another driver at Atari.
Dylan Shepherd also in the pits in the One Performance Racing Mercedes. Now Lewis Pello-Gallen, his lap times in comparison to Daniel Benefield, he's been about 2 tenths quicker the last few laps, so he's starting to close the gap on track, and of course he's got the little bit of an advantage of the different pit strategy as well, in saying that his pit stop was actually longer, so we might scrap that one.
Driver swap for the 153, meanwhile. Edward Foster has now made his way into that car.
Now I'm guessing it won't be far off the GT3 starting to pit as well.
Yeah. They by far have the biggest fuel capacity out of the entire field.
The gap out in front of GT about 9 seconds between Mansell and Rizzo. Peasnick closing on Rizzo once again after these issues that he's had. He just hasn't had any luck at all tonight. The only luck he's had's been bad.
Yeah, certainly. I think he'll be crossing his fingers and his toes right now as he goes into the pits.
I think the way he was closing up, and actually seen Mansell just up ahead in the pits as well. So, I'm interested to see who does driver swaps out of these guys as well. Apparently Seb's screen keeps blacking out.
Oh no.
That could explain quite a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to have happen, especially in a car like the Daytona prototype, the fastest class on track.
153 machine coming out.
Yes, indeed.
Jeez, lots of cars in the pits now. Actually looks like a car park.
Yeah, certainly does.
So Ross Rizzo continues on. He's now assumed the lead in GTE. Sean Thompson continuing on as well. So he's P2. And Performance Motorsport chassis number 3, the 674 machine. It is still out on track yet to make a pit stop. But those 3 cars are the last 3 in GTE to make stops.
Yes, indeed. Looks like Peasnick is going to stay in the Element Motorsports car. Meanwhile, in the BSB Racing car, Brett Douglas has taken over that machine.
In the 193 machine, the 192 has also had a driver change as well. Mick Boyst in the car. So both of the BSB Racing entries have had driver swaps as the Performance Motorsport Chassis 3 with Wayne Taylor at the wheel into the pits. I think there's only 4 cars left on track left to pit. The Fusion Sim Racing cars as well as the Pro Force Racing GTE cars.
Alrighty, well, Wayne Taylor pulling into the pits. Let's see if he does a driver swap as well. At the moment, it's looking like he's staying in the car.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is a driver swap there because he's having some internet issues as well. So yeah, Jason Hyde's just jumped in the car right on cue.
Uh-huh.
Ross Rizzo now in the pits. So Sean Thompson. So I'm just dropping things in the background, sorry.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Oh, I'm just broken something too. That's always good. I'm in trouble now.
Uh-oh.
Oh well. You sleep on the couch tonight. Rizzo in the pits. Thompson, I'm pretty sure, will come in as well and cleanse the field in GTE, and right on cue, there he goes. So GTE is fully finished in regards to pit stops. Trent Thompson, the last car left to pit, and have a look at the battle right where he is. This is second and third outright between the PMS number 67 with Clint Smith at the wheel, Lewis Gallon in the 21. These guys are well and truly on.
Yeah, certainly is. Of course, we've got to remember Gallon on a bit of a fight back after his incident earlier on in the race. Also, he'll have to bide his time through this section of the circuit. It's not a place you can overtake this spot on the track. Oh, Clint Smith getting on the AstroTurf, losing a bit of ground. See if Gallon fires one up the inside. Nope, he doesn't.
I thought he was going to fire it up there. I'm actually surprised he didn't just fire it up there. Driver swap in the 184 Mercedes with Cody Traynor behind the wheel.
Uh-huh. So a lot of different drivers entering the field now. Look at Gallon, though, versus Smith into Spoon. Or Gallon running wide. Gets on the AstroTurf a little bit. Or Smith running wide in the second part of Spoon as well. It's going to be on down the back straight up to 130R. Is Gallon going to try and get by? Yeah, he is. And Clint yields. So there we go. That's
good
second
move,
place taken. Yeah, very good move. Took advantage of the slipstream and got it done nice and quick.
Now, just looking while we're trying to work out what's actually happening. Oh! Which car was that? The 125 has just served. I'm not quite sure which car that was.
Let's have a look.
Absolutely served. Larnack now behind the wheel. Coming through the S's. There's a car. It may have been...
Ooh.
Not quite sure.
That was Taliansich in the Performance Motorsports car.
Okay.
Looks like he came through the S's and slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, not quite sure what was going on there. Maybe he was trying to let Larnack by.
And we've seen a fair bit of hardware failure too in this race, so don't discount that as well.
Yeah, the problem was when Taliansich's brakes came on, he was still very much on the racing line, so Larnack didn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah, that's strange. Not sure what's happened there. But that's hurt both Taliancic and Larnack.
Yep.
But
Larnack makes his way past Alexander Bird.
Change of position now that the pit stops are done and the field is cleansed. Paul Mansell leading in the number 5 Sky VR 46 Racing Team Ferrari and GTE. But second position now, John Pisnick. It's Joe. Jeez, I'm doing well. John Pisnick in P2. So that is positional change there. He's managed to get ahead of the car that was driven by Ross Rizzo, which is now driven by Cody Traynor, who's had a very, very long pit stop. Actually, looks like they may have had a pit penalty. About 15 seconds extra stop than most of the other cars.
They would have braked a little late for pit entry and got a speeding in pits penalty for sure.
I would be guessing so. Matt Allison in for his second stop. Yeah, go,
sorry. I was going to say Scott Stevens now at the wheel of the number 247 Fusion Sim Racing car, taken over from Trent Thomas. Back to what you were saying.
I don't even know what I was talking about now. Lost my train of thought.
I think you mentioned Cody Traynor.
Yeah, that's right, I was. So Cody Traynor now behind the wheel of the 184, which was driven by Ross Rizzo, but they've got a fairly big gap back to Larnack, who definitely will have a little bit of damage and be a little bit down on pace with that incident with Taliancic, who's still continuing on there 3 laps down. I'm still really thrown by that. That was a real weird incident, that one.
Yeah, it was. Alexander Bird lifting off to let Sean Thompson go in the Pro Force Racing Ferrari.
They're actually closing up on Larnack. So this could be a battle that will start to get tighter, especially with that little bit of damage to the 125 Evolution Racing Team Ferrari.
Yeah, Thompson carrying a little bit of damage himself, but nowhere near the amount that Larnack has.
GT3 actually, just noticing the ERT Hornets have jumped the rest of the GT3 field in those round of pit stops as well.
Yeah.
Kugli with a 27-second longer stop than Selassie.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what went on. Not quite sure what went on there. Yeah.
So Svalassi now leading the way in GT3. Lewis Kugley in second. The One Performance Racing entry of Dylan Shepherd next, then Stevens and Bird. So Fusion Sim Racing guys have lost 2 spots in the pit stops. Both of them.
That's very strange. I don't know if the driver swaps had anything to do with it, or they took tires.
Those 2 same length pit stops as the car driven by Lewis Kugley, so I'm not sure. Very strange.
Could be that the ERT Hornets car elected not to take tires.
Possibly there could be Shepherd and Svalassi maybe haven't taken tyres, and that's a 27-second quicker stop. That would be about right. 20 odd seconds for tyres in a GT3 car.
Yeah, something like that.
And being GT3, the tyres usually hold on pretty well. The only drivers that take new tyres, fairly understandably, would be the new drivers jumping in the car. Makes a lot of sense.
Alternatively, I'm thinking Svalassi and Shepherd might be running a reverse strategy to the rest of the field, doing a long stint on their tyres for the first 2 parts of the race,
and fresh ones at the end.
Yeah, have fresh ones at the end. The other guys probably doing the opposite.
Either that or going to take tyres at every stop.
Yeah, possibly.
5th and 6th in GTE, getting nice and tight between Sean Thompson and Mick Beist.
Yeah, certainly is. Oh, Thompson, just as we saw, around at Spoon.
That's the second time he's done that.
Yeah, manages to keep it going though. Didn't come to a stop, didn't spin.
He's only lost 1 spot, so that orange Ferrari is out of position.
Yep.
I'm fairly
sure.
Go
side by side
Matt
into
Allison.
130R. Yeah, Matt Allison quite rightly lifts off to let Sean Thompson go. I think the commentators' curse is in full effect tonight.
We're doing well, mate. We're doing well.
Yeah, we've every time we've gone to take a look at a driver, they've decided to do a whoopsie.
Tell you what, this race has been really entertaining. I don't know which battle to keep an eye on. Actually, now that I say that, GT3, have a look at the battle for the lead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness me. Lewis Kugley right on the back now of Martin Svalassi.
Now, I'm fairly sure, looking at the last lap time, that there are fresh tyres for the Pleb Sim Sport Mercedes.
Yep. Oh, Svalassi!
Oh!
Oh, no, huge contact! Svalassi just lost it on his own there, coming through 200R. And now, oh my goodness, those tyres will be half wrecked. What a shame for the Hornets. We need to get a replay of that.
Yeah, replay on screen now. That was a bizarre incident.
Yeah, I think maybe the traction control caught Svalassi out a little bit, but yeah, huge tank slapper. And yeah, just got drilled by Lewis Kugley, who had no time to react and nowhere to go. Wow, what an incident. So, I guess Pleb Sim Sport retakes the lead of GT3. It goes without saying.
That was strange.
Yeah, certainly was.
So I got on board looking from the front of Lewis Kugley's car. Just see the car snap back to the left. It looked like Svalassi was actually going to leave the door open for Kugley to go up the inside there. And as he's put on his foot on the brake to go into the corner, it's just snapped hard left. Very strange.
Yeah, very odd. It looks to me like he was already sliding before he applied the brakes and snapped left. Looked like maybe there were just a couple of bumps in that section of the track that unsettled the car a little bit. It looked like a very lazy slide to start off with. And yeah, just the tank slapper that left him a passenger.
That's unfortunate. Sebastian Murray-Westberg in the pits, which is also appearing to be an unfortunate incident because we're hearing all sorts of technical gremlins as well as a bit of a bent up car potentially from that as well. So we might see a driver swap there. Not too sure.
Remains to be seen.
That's unlucky for those guys.
John Peasnick with major damage on the front, Jay. I think we've missed something there.
Yeah, that car doesn't look overly straight, does it?
I'm just going to quickly rewind and see what happened.
Last lap by was 1.2 seconds quicker than Mansell, so I don't think it was anything last lap by. Strange.
Definitely a worse looking front end than we've seen before in this race.
Yep. The field's actually settled quite a lot, so we might actually get a chance to run through a few other drivers in the field, which we haven't focused on a great deal. Might go to the 193, the BSB Racing team entry with Brett Douglas at the wheel. Quite a nice looking livery on that car.
Yeah, certainly is.
Nothing wrong with a bit of green and gold.
Yeah, for sure. After much deliberation, I look to have found the cause of Peasnick's damage was an incident with a GT3 car.
There you go.
Was the it was Dylan Shepherd.
Oh
So
yes, that's right. Coming through into
into Degner.
Yep, we did
Profor's
see
car
that.
went by.
That was while you were off having your little break.
Okay, cool. Well,
I do remember that now.
All right. Well, memories jogged, and away we go.
Yep. Too much going on. The
Yeah, there
Redback
is.
Racing Black entry looks like it may be done. They're
Yeah.
dropping back through the field, but this car on screen, currently P14 outright, P9 in class. Doing a great job keeping the car clean, which is the #1 key in these sort of races.
Yeah, certainly is.
Oh, something's happened. Oh, Daniel Benefield starting to have internet issues. He's in the lead of the
Oh,
race.
yeah.
This is not good.
I'm noticing little bits of damage repair happening to the Redback Black car. So who knows? They're probably getting a ton of damage repaired.
There is a fair bit of damage on that car too.
Yep, Seb's back out.
There we go. Good to see. Two
Yes,
laps
indeed.
down, but finishing the race will be key. If they can stay
It's
on
all-
track, they could gain some spots too.
Yeah, it's all about picking up points in these things.
Yeah, a bit of a different format in regards to the championship too. Think of it more as a license to drive, essentially license to enter a car, and you can have any driver turn up and drive your car that you want each week. Not necessarily the same drivers that get the points each week, it's actually the car that gets the points. So, for example, Reese and I might enter a car, we might race one car one week and jump in another car, and we'll have someone else drive our car the next week, and the car still gets the points. So it's the car that gets the championship, not the drivers.
Yeah, it's a good system in my opinion.
Agree.
Definitely leaves the door open for lots of drivers to have a go or fill in for drivers that may have various real life issues get in the way.
Yeah, especially with a 11-week season back to back with fairly long races, having a depth of drivers around that can help out, and picking up a driver that'll fill in for you when you need every now and again, I think is fantastic. A really clever format, that something a little bit different from what we normally see, where you have to have at least one driver race every race and things like that. It opens up a whole new option for guys to race when they can and not when they don't have to, or when they're not available. So really good format, I really like it.
Brilliant stuff as we're seeing Sean Thompson making his way through the FSR GT3 cars at the moment. He's going to send one up the inside of Scott Stevens at Spoon, it looks like. Through Sean goes, and like the car that he was battling with, Mick Buist, in the BSB 192. Still behind Alexander Bird after a couple of corners.
A little bit of a side note, fastest lap of the race that time by for Lewis Gallon. So he's definitely on the pace. Fastest lap of the entire race last time by.
Yeah,
On
certainly
24 lap old tyres too.
Yeah, what a time. That's crazy. So he was 37.2 seconds behind Daniel Benefield at the last lap timer. So
Yeah, half a second gain last lap by.
man on a mission.
For sure. Got a lot of time to catch up, so I'm sure we'll see him push very, very hard. Just good to see. Well, hopefully we'll have them all nice and close together by the end of this race.
I really hope so. That initial battle for the lead at the start was definitely one of the race highlights so far.
Got the 192 on screen now, the sister car to the 193, the BSB Racing entry. Really cool looking livery from these guys.
Yeah, certainly. Brilliant stuff from those guys.
As we saw Chris Purnell driving this car earlier, Mick Bice behind the wheel now as he comes up to the back of one of the FSR cars. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I think it may be Scott Stevens.
Let's have a look. Yes, I do believe so. So, Mick's managed to make his way past Bird, who is now... we've got a Daytona prototype spinner behind them, Lattimore.
Just saw that on the live timing, so we'll see if we can pick up a replay as to what's happened to Lattimore.
There was a little bit of an over-rotation at the hairpin, it looks to be. Yeah, just... that's so easy to do in that Daytona prototype. It's a very wayward car in the mid-corner. It can rotate massively on you at a moment's notice. You really got to be careful of that in this car.
It just gets that lazy spin happening. A bit like the V8 used to back in the day. It just wants to keep going even though you're not turning and not doing anything wrong. It just keeps on wanting to spin on you and spit you out.
Yeah. But of course, no one in my team listens. We've got a bunch of guys who absolutely love driving the Daytona prototype.
I'll tell you, have a look at this battle that's starting to close up. I mean, it's not a battle yet, but it is a battle on the clock, on the timesheet. First and second in GTE. Last lap by number 5, the Sky VR 46 team. 157.3 versus the Element Motorsport Peisnick. 155.7. That's 1.6 seconds gained last lap by.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy for John Peisnick with damage on the front of his car.
Yeah, that's a massive gain. We'll see if we can see what the gain is this time. But the gap's now down under 8 seconds, or at 8 seconds at the moment, I should say, not under.
57.1 for Mansell. Nick's going to cross the line. It is going to be a 56.0.
Another
1.1 seconds quicker.
So we'll keep an eye on that for another 6 or 7 laps, and they'll be right there together.
Yeah, what an event it's been. What a 90 minutes it's been so far for John Peisnick. He's gone up and then down and then back up again.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love this race so far, and it's only going to get better as we go on, I think.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Well, oh no, Peisnick spins again. Oh no. He's just absolutely... He's probably fuming in that cockpit right now. Every time he gets even a hint of getting back up the front, something happens to him.
Yeah, that's so frustrating for him. He's had... Well, as I said before, the only luck he's had's been bad in this race. It's just a strange spin, but that's frustrating.
It certainly is.
And back out to 19 seconds now.
Well, that's a story that has yet to be told, but Jay, I think it's about high time we go on our mid-race break. Just get ourselves together a little and come back in a few minutes. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes and we'll bring you all the action from the Midweek Sportscar Championship. We'll be back very soon.
Hi guys, I'm Scott Speed, driver of this amazing Volkswagen Beetle GRC car. I got good news for the iRacing fam. We got this coming in. I'm currently working on it myself personally to make sure that it is as accurate as possible. With the addition of dirt and now this mean car, it is gonna be so fun. And it's gonna be available free to all the iRacing members. Personally, I can't wait to get out there and race you guys on it.
Welcome back, one and all, to V8's Online for our live broadcast of the first round of the Midweek Sportscar Championship at Suzuka. The IMSA cars racing around the picturesque and challenging Japanese circuit in Suzuka in Mie Prefecture. And Jay Kennedy, it has been quite the interesting race so far. We're halfway through, 90 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's been highly entertaining for sure. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks, Reese. It's been an awesome race so far. Just ticked over halfway, so we're back into it now with under 90 minutes to go. During the break, we just saw Lewis Gallon make his scheduled second stop. So
he got some damage repaired on that one.
Yeah, the car actually looks very, very straight and healthy now. So I actually think this lap right now we'll see the fastest lap we've seen for the entire race. So we'll keep one eye on that, but you can see now a 52-second gap between the Redback Racing Team Red with Benefield at the wheel, and as we suspect, or we're suspecting, we will have the skill of Aaron Lee behind the wheel of that car in the near future. We could be wrong, but that's what we're expecting.
Indeed. Well, I think if Aaron Lee, knowing Redback, having raced against them quite a bit in sports cars, if I know Aaron Lee, he'll probably be putting the car closer to the end, because super quick driver is Aaron, but tends to like shorter stints, and giving the car to other drivers after about 1 or 2, maybe 3 stints of his own.
Battle for third and fourth has definitely closed up while we've been away. Scott Larnack's managed to close back up on the number 184 of Cody Trainer, sorry. Jeez, I'm doing well with names tonight, aren't I? Useless.
Yeah. Waiting
Sack
until
me.
you call Cody
Sack me.
Megan.
Sack me.
No. I have no authority over you, Jay.
I know. Can you
Or
have
you,
some?
or are you talking to yourself?
Probably myself more than anything else.
Uh-huh.
That'd be good. Welcome to Completely Lost the Plot with V8's Online.
Yeah, well, isn't that every broadcast?
Usually.
When it's just us in the comms,
Oh.
definitely.
It's been fun having us commentate together the last couple of nights too, though.
Yeah, it
really
certainly has. It's been nice and chill. It's been fun. I'm having a look at Scott Larnack at the moment on Mr. Trainer.
He's got good pace, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has.
That issue that we saw earlier with Talyancic doesn't look to have been causing too much of an issue. I mean, the car's definitely bent up, but it's still pulling away quite quick.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's in the stream of Trainer at the moment. He's going to lift off before 130R. The Ford, we have noticed, is a bit slower in a straight line than the Ferrari is. Oh, and right up the inside goes Scott Larnack, up Cody Trainer. And through he goes for position number 8 overall.
Yeah, P3 in class.
Indeed.
You were just trying to add that up with your fingers, weren't you? Oh, no. Issue for
was-
Stephen Lattimore.
I was staring at the screen, Jay, thinking about what to say.
Stephen Lattimore's run off the track and then he's just completely cut the chicane.
Oh.
Let's see if we can pick up a replay of what's happened, but the number 91 prototype hasn't had the most enjoyable race tonight.
Yeah,
Was having a great battle with the Redback car, but obviously no one to battle with at the moment, and it's causing some issues.
Went just a little too deep in the chicane, lost the rear round he went, and then decided to take the short way back onto the racing surface.
I'm surprised that you'd do that, because that could potentially damage the front of the car. In saying
Yeah.
that, we've said before that the front doesn't matter quite as much if the front's damaged as opposed to the rear.
Yeah.
Hey, have a look at
And-
the lap time for the lead, the Battle 2 cars in GTE, the last lap time by.
56.5 for Element Motorsports and a 57.8 for VR46. Yeah, this is heating up. Really enjoying
For
this.
sure. Stephen Lattimore's just gone a lap down.
I was going to say about the Lattimore thing. I think the Daytona prototype is a bit of a tank in terms of
Oh, Jason
under tray
Hyde.
damage. Ooh.
Jason Hyde's just spun or run wide, pulled it up before the wall at the middle of turn 1 and 2. Currently running 8th in class, driving with Wayne Taylor.
I'm trying desperately to find the car on the timing, but I'm not having much success.
674.
Alrighty,
I'll help you out, mate.
there we go. All sorted out. I
Those that-
need a coffee at this rate.
For those that don't know how we actually do it in the broadcast booth, Reese and I are not looking at the same thing. So when you're watching a TV broadcast of racing, the commentators that are together, they're all watching the same screen and talking about what they're all seeing on the same screen. Reese and I are not looking at the same screen, so I'm in the eastern side of Australia and Reese on the western side of Australia, and through the magic of the internet, we're talking to each other. It's amazing how it all works, Reese.
Oh yeah, well it's amazing how it holds together at all, really, when you think about it.
It doesn't really, does it?
Oh, we don't have to tell the viewers that.
No, true,
we like to
true.
maintain an air of illusion around here.
It's just magic, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. There's a certain kind of magic that happens here at V8's Online. Trying my best to spin that in a positive way.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't even know how I went on that tangent anyway. Larnack's already pulled 3 seconds on Trainer since he's got by. Next car ahead for him in that battle is Peisnick, but he's about 40 seconds ahead, so I can't see him catching. But Mansell, Peisnick, before we went to the break, it was down to 8.5 seconds, and we saw that spin, and now it's went out to about 19 seconds. It's now back into 10 seconds. So
Yeah, John Peisnick just on an
Clint
absolute
Smith in the lane.
roll.
So the number 67 is in the lane, and Lewis Gallon has gone by. So Clint Smith looks like he's staying in the car.
Yeah, Clint going for a very, very long stint in this car. Wondering if he might be soloing it.
Yeah, if he hasn't had a driver swap, I'm sure he's soloing it now as the race leader also into the lane, Daniel Benefield in the Redback Racing Team Red.
Alright, we'll see if Aaron Lee gets put in here.
I would suspect it'll be a yes, but
I would
again,
suspect it'll be a no.
okay.
Here we go. We'll find out, won't we?
Still another pit stop to go for all of the DP runners. So we did say before the race start we thought there was definitely going to be 3.5 stints for the DP, so 3 stops. And it looks like that car is not having a driver swap. No, definitely no driver swap there.
Yeah, I got the thought that there wouldn't be because in the recent Endurance Sports Car Championship race at Le Mans, a 10-hour race, Benefield drove for about, I don't know, 6 or so of those hours right from the start.
Mansell
Just went on
Peisnick
an absolute mammoth stint, sorry.
down to 9.8 seconds. Last lap by for Mansell. 57.6. Peisnick
Benefit.
a 56.3, so another 1.3 seconds gained.
Very nice stuff. Well, Peisnick, I think, will be hoping that another incident doesn't befall him when he catches up, as has happened at least twice in this race.
Awesome battle.
Confirmation
Sorry.
on the broadcast chat that Clint is soloing it, sorry.
Sorry, Rex, I was just going to say, awesome battle between teammates still continuing in the Fusion Sim Racing cars. Stevens and Bird, nose to tail still.
Yeah, they were brought together a little bit by Benefield making his way past them in the S's, I noticed. Had to give him the corner a couple of times, so that's brought them back together.
Good to see Swassy still continuing on. He just dropped back to 5th behind these two cars. After that strange incident we saw between he and Kugeley, where there was some sort of weird mistake. Don't even know how to describe it. It was just strange.
Yeah, I'd say just a real sort of tank slapper moment.
That's about all you can say about it. It was just bizarre. So
yeah,
anyway.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, especially at that part of the circuit.
No,
like,
not there.
Yeah, cars don't lose it there most of the time.
And if they do, they usually would go to the right, continue to the right, as opposed to flicking back to the left. That was the thing that surprised me.
Yeah, maybe he overcorrected.
Gap between... Yeah, I don't know either. Gap between first and second in GTE now down to 8.7 seconds. We see this time for the number 5 is a 57.5. And the Element Motorsports
1.5 seconds.
56 flat. Wowee.
That's incredible stuff there.
It's going to be a really, really entertaining battle. The issue that could potentially happen for Peisnick is the number 18, the Redback Racing black entry of Sebastian Murray Westberg. If he catches him at the wrong spot, that could hamper this gain that he's got, but it looks like Seb might get him at the perfect spot for him. And then he'll be hoping that he actually can hold up Mansell when he gets to him.
Yeah, for sure. So let's have a look through the Degners. Seb not using very much of that first curb at all.
I think Seb's just dropping back, waiting for the next straight.
Yeah.
Now he's going to dive it in the inside here.
Oh, yep, here we go.
That's actually hasn't hurt. It's hurt a little bit, but not as much as potentially could.
Yep, certainly.
Stephen Lattimore in the lane in the Race on Oz, number 91.
I was going to say about Sebastian. He obviously last season he started joining me in the Proto GT series as I was doing my video series on that, and it was some good times. You know, getting to you know, help him with the HPD a little bit, and you know, teach him a little bit about prototype driving, all that sort of thing. And it looks like he's slotted into the Daytona prototype quite nicely, not without a few scary moments.
On board there, you saw the wheel work.
Yeah.
As he went through the through there. Looked a bit messy. Last lap for the 5 and the 113. Not coming up properly. There we go. Because we've got the redback car in the middle. It's not showing the graphic quite as normal, but there you go. The 157.5 versus a 156.6, so another 0.9 of a second, even with the lap traffic. It's down to 7 seconds.
Certainly is, and now we're seeing a double lap traffic situation here. Luis Polo Gallon is coming up to the back of Peaceneck, and Peaceneck himself is trying to get by Edward Foster. That car, the Natari Auto Sports car. Whoa! Hello!
Oof.
You
There's
see
a
that
dive.
from Gallon?
That's
right
a
at the
dive.
inside of Degner 1. Wow! I was going to say, you don't pass there, but
You
Gallon
do.
said, yes you can.
It looks like you do.
Yeah.
That was pretty aggressive, and Isaac's got through as well.
How did he hold that?
I don't know.
Every time I'm anywhere other than the absolute outside on the entry to Degner 1, I'm straight into the gravel trap. I guess that's why I'm not Luis Polo Gallon.
That's why you're up in the comms box, mate.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Front of
Wait till Thursday.
front of GT3, or not the front, the second, third, fourth GT3 has really started to close up.
Ooh,
Last
yeah.
lap by.
Oh no, Alexander Bird!
Oh!
Out of 130R, back end into the wall. Oh, that's a real shame there.
They were doing a great job, those guys. That is heartbreaking for all of them. Oh, Gallon almost into the back. Get a replay and see exactly what happened.
Goodness me. That was incredibly close. Way too close. Yeah, it looks like Gallon just got loose on the exit curb of 130R.
He wouldn't have been
Once
expecting
again.
a car to be sitting where it was.
Yeah.
Fairly soft contact to the wall.
Well, the battle has really heated up here. Scott Stevens versus Dylan Shepherd. Of course, now ex-teammates. After the One Performance Racing guys left FSR to reform OPR.
Yeah, that car of Shepherd definitely has a lot of damage, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's hindering his outright pace. 1.2 seconds quicker last time by for Scott Stevens. So it's definitely some sort of impact in regards to pace.
Yeah, look, Stevens gaining in the straight line. They come through Spoon. I'd be looking for at least a look to be made on the back stretch. Look at the launch that Stevens got out of Spoon. Incredible stuff there. Shepherd has no choice but to just watch him go by here. There we go, move done for Scott Stevens. As back behind them, Gallon makes his way past Murray Westberg. Looks like Edward Foster is in the pits.
Yep. So they're in 10th position in class in the Atari Autosports entry. Gap between Mansell and Peisnick now, 4.1 seconds.
Yeah, Piersnick can see Mansell.
Have a look at the
down
difference
the
in
straight.
lap times last time by.
Oh my
2.6
God.
seconds. That's massive.
Absolutely. That's crazy. Absolutely incredible stuff. Can't wait to see how this battle unfolds.
Interesting talking about lap times. We're seeing Lewis Pello-Gallon make his way through the field to try and close that gap first back to second. Last time by, Daniel Benefield was almost just over 1 second quicker, 1.1 second quicker. So the little bit of traffic that we're seeing starting to hinder Gallon's charge back through the field.
Yeah, well, we've got two huge fight backs in this field at the moment.
Oh,
they're
Scott
both
Stevens.
for the lead of a class.
Stevens is around at
no.
the hairpin.
Oh, and he's got a bit of damage too.
See if we can pick up exactly what happened.
Oh no, he made Sebastian Murray Westberg made contact with him and sent him around. Ah, that's
Painful.
I'm gonna refrain from saying too much about that, but
Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't.
I feel as though that was a move that could have waited. Personally,
Yep.
it's not really the place you go up the inside of a car. Maybe, like, fair enough if you're coming up to a car fast, maybe you expect them to go wide, but I feel like the issue was forced a little bit there.
Yeah.
I am mates with both of these guys, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
You'll tell them what you think in private.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Gap for the front of GTE now 3.1 seconds. Another 9/10 gained last time by the Element Motorsport Ferrari. It still is really, really strange to say Ferrari in iRacing. It is really bizarre.
Yeah.
I love that we can say it, but I never thought we'd say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think I went onto this train of thought before near the start of the race. Initially, it was sort of expected that iRacing would remain with like the American-centric content with NASCAR and associated series being involved with it, but now there's a big European-style racing expansion to iRacing, and we've seen names like Porsche and Ferrari come on board, and who knows what the future's going to hold.
Yeah, Ferrari, Porsche, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Audi. Do we ever think we'd get any of those cars? No.
I don't think so.
No.
Definitely
never.
not.
McLaren, even when they announced the original McLaren, I think that was the biggest shock we'd ever seen, and that's now nearly 4 years ago.
Yeah,
We never thought we'd see that. Yeah, interesting just watching the Element Motorsport car coming past the 247 of Scott Stevens. Stevens looks like he may have held him up a little bit, and that's helped stretch that gap, but not too much. It's out to 3.4 seconds now. Mansell also had traffic ahead as well, getting past the One Performance Racing car with Dylan Shepherd at the wheel. Just on an hour to go.
Yeah, certainly. Oh boy. There's stuff happening all through the field.
This battle in GT has been absolutely enthralling since minute 1.
Yeah, certainly has.
I think it might be time we do a run through the full field though, because we've been concentrating on a lot of battles, but we haven't gone through everyone. But leading the race outright at the moment is the Redback Racing Team Red, Daniel Benefield at the wheel at the moment. I think the big thing for them, they've just stayed out of trouble, which has been key to them maintaining this lead.
Yeah, certainly, and in second place currently is Luis Polo Gallon, really making a charge to try and take the lead back from Redback. He's followed in third by Clint Smith in the Performance Motorsports number 67 machine, who's currently facing a little bit of lap traffic in the Degners. Race on Oz is lining up in fourth place at the moment. Benjamin Smith is back at the wheel of that car. And Sebastian Murray Westberg in the Redback Racing Team Black car is currently the last placed car in the Daytona Prototype class.
As we've been saying, leading the field in GTE is Paul Mansell in the Sky VR46 Racing Team entry. Right behind them now, closing up, is the Element Motorsport car of John Peasnick, who has had no luck at all other than bad in this race. Scott Larnack, another driver that has had a bit of bad luck since the last round of pit stops, currently in P3. Cody Traynor in P4 in class in the Pro Force Racing number 184 car. The 185 car, the sister car, the Ferrari this time, the 185, Sean Thompson at the wheel, is in P5. BSB Racing 192 in P6 in class is Mick Beist at the wheel. We've got the 674 Performance Motorsport Chassis 3, Jason Hyde at the wheel in that car at the moment. Brett Douglas behind the wheel in the BSB 193 entry. They're in P8 in this class. P9 in GTE. It's a race on Oz number 2. Matt Allison at the wheel in that car at the present stage. And then we've got Performance Motorsport Chassis number 2. Currently in the pits, was driven by Michael Taliancic before. Troy Sargent now behind the wheel of that car as they've just completed a driver swap right on cue. And the last runner in GTE is the Natari Autosports. James Foster behind the wheel and saying that that car may now be a DNF with them being in the pits for the last 7 minutes.
Yes, indeed. And leading GT3 at the moment continues to be Pleb Simsport, despite a few interesting incidents happening. Lewis Kugerly now coming up to about 2 hours in the car there. One Performance Racing currently in position number 2 with Dylan Shepherd driving at the moment. ERT Hornets, third place. Martin Silvassi still at the wheel of that machine, followed by Fusion Sim Racing number 247.
247.
Number 247 is behind One Performance at the moment. Sorry, I skipped them. ERT Hornets in position 4. In 5th place, Fusion Sim Racing number 246. In 6th place at the moment is Performance Motorsports Chassis number 4, with Grant Hines at the wheel. Race on Oz 3 is a position behind them. Tyler Blackburn at the wheel. And it looks like
change of position.
Yeah,
change of position for GTE lead. It's finally happened.
There we go. It's happened.
Finally through.
Yep, through. I believe it's Spoon.
Yep. and done
Yes.
quite easily as well. There was no fight at all from Mansell. He knew that he was coming. He knew he had pace, so I don't think there was any need to fight as well. Replay on screen off the pass.
Yep, just got him on the exit of Spoon there. Mansell didn't quite get the optimum traction out of the exit of the turn, and Peacenik was just there to grab him.
Not far away from these guys pitting once again in GTE, so that could completely change the field in this class once again. So I've seen a few drivers having issues in regards to their pit stops, long pit stops and pit lane penalties and the such. So it'd be interesting to see what happens this round in pit stops.
Yeah, certainly will be, as we see Clint Smith making his way past Peacenik. Lapping him once again.
Gap at the
Looks
front.
like... sorry, go on.
I was just going to say the gap at the front's now under 35 seconds. It's been around the 40-second mark for a lot of this race, but now under 35, so it's starting to close up a little.
Yeah, let's have a look at the past laps for Benefield. He's been in the high 50s and now the mid 51s for the last 5 or 6 laps in this stint, while Gallon has been in the low 51s and he's dipped into the high 50s on this last lap. Have a look at what he does this time round. It's a 51.2, so another low 53 from Gallon.
Gain again. Just chipping away, isn't he?
Yeah, only just.
Just
I
is enough,
think-
though.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. If he keeps going like this, we might see the battle come together at the end of the race.
Fingers crossed. I'd love to see them fight right at the end. That'd be fantastic to see, but I don't know if it might be too little too late, but we'll find out in due course. We're now 64 minutes away from the end of this race. Battle for P2 is starting to close up again after Stevens was involved in that incident earlier. He's closing back up to the back of Dylan Shepherd, as he did, I think it's said it about 20 minutes ago that he was closing up onto the back.
Yeah, certainly was, and well, now both of them have a little bit of damage.
Yeah, pace is still definitely there in that 247 car. 1.5 seconds quicker last lap by.
Both Stevens and Shepherd do like their Mercedes GT3s. Yeah, as you're saying, Stevens does have the edge, despite having a little bit of rear damage. Diffuser's looking a little bit warped on that car, so he'll probably have lost a little bit of downforce.
ERT Hornets in the pits, and will it be interesting to see if they have a driver swap happen there. Slashy at the wheel at the moment. This is their last stop. Remember, we're fairly sure they did not take tyres last stop, and also in the lane, Paul Mansell. He is stopped, and no driver swap in that car, so
Cody Traynor.
Mansell will continue.
Yeah, Cody Traynor just came into the pits with his wheels locked. I don't know if they'll have received a speeding in pits penalty for that. Look to be going quite quickly. Let's have a look at their pit entry speed.
The Mansell away, 53 second stop. And we'll compare that to Peisnick when he comes into the lane, because that's where the real battle is between Mansell and Peisnick, whichever way we say it. I'm going to be wrong, so I'll say it both ways.
It's Peasnick. Just think that you're having dinner with Nicolas Cage and you say, "I'll have some peas, Nick."
Yeah, right.
I'm way too tired.
Jeez, I left you hanging there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Thanks, Jay.
Nicolas Cage in the lane. John Peasnick in the lane. So we'll keep an eye.
Get burned.
It's definitely been a long race. So we'll keep one eye on Peasnick's stop. Get the comparison pit stop times up on the screen. So we'll go on board for the next little bit of the lap with the number 5, the Sky VR46 Racing Team entry. The Element Motorsport car currently stopped in the lane. Now, in regards to GT3, fairly sure, now, we were talking about the pace between Shepherd and Stevens. We're fairly
Yeah.
sure that Shepherd did not take tyres in that first stop. That could be really what's hurting him now. Slashy definitely took tyres that time around, the longest stop in comparison to that first stop.
Yeah, and you can see Stevens has really got the edge, especially in the mid-corner, so those tyres that Stevens took will definitely be helping him out.
The Element Motorsport car has got it here, I'm pretty sure. What's that, about 3 second longest stop. He's going to come out about 4 seconds ahead.
Very good stuff there from Peasneck.
So this is for P2 and 3 in GT3.
So they're coming up the back straight now, just over the rise, over the bridge, crossing over the unique figure of 8 layout of Suzuka through 130R.
Oh, big dive.
Big dive, yep, and Shepherd saw him coming. They're going to go side by side with the chicane, but can Stevens get the power down?
Yes.
No, he can't. Shepherd is going into the pits?
Yeah, Shepherd slowed down to get in the pits. He wants to get fresh boots. He knows he's vulnerable.
There we go. I think...
Probably a smart
wonder
move.
if Stevens knew. I don't know if he did, because maybe if he knew Shepherd was going to the pits, he might have held off on that dive.
Yeah, I agree. I think he wouldn't have done that if Shepherd had said, I'm going to pit. I think he would have just held back and let him go and jumped out. And he definitely wouldn't have dived like that if he knew he was pitting. GTE 2.2 seconds now after that round of pit stops. These guys are fueled up, ready to get it home with 59 minutes left on the clock.
Yep, we got another spinner, Benjamin Smith for Race on Oz at the apex of the chicane. He's gotten going again. Race on Oz team has been in the wars in the DP at the moment.
Yeah, not having a great race, unfortunately, which is quite frustrating for them. Try and get a replay up. Looks like I may have gone back a little bit too far. My apologies. That's okay. We'll make sure we get the incident, though. That's good. It's great to see the Race on Oz guys moving across to iRacing. They do a lot of PlayStation stuff, PS4 stuff in regards to Project Cars, Assetto Corsa and Gran Turismo with PS3. I know a lot of drivers that made the way from Race on Oz over to iRacing way back when. Used to race in their Gran Turismo leagues. Couple that you would know quite well, one being Madison Down.
Yes, indeed.
Do know Graham Bones Fireland as well. He used to race over with those guys and made the move to iRacing. So, a few guys that have come out of that outfit. Of course, we see a few guys racing right up towards the pointy end in a few series that used to race with those guys as well. In regards to Bo Albert and also Nick Cummins as well. I was just
A team with quite a bit of history.
Mick Bice just had a little lazy spin coming into the hairpin, and it looks like he's just let Scott Larnack through.
There we
Bice.
go. That's Larnack through into P3 then.
Yeah, Bice is yet to pit as well, so that's double whammy for him. Now look at the gap. We were talking before, it was about 34, 35 seconds for first, second outright. It's now down to 32.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's definitely closing up the last couple of laps.
Yeah, and look at how hard Gallen's pushing. He's taken all the curb and then some in the S's.
It's actually enjoyable to watch jumping on board with Gallen, how aggressive he is in this car. I think if he didn't have those issues we saw earlier, he would probably have a fairly substantial lead in this race. But big thing for Benefield, he's just stayed out of trouble, and it's been very, very, very beneficial for him.
Yeah, it certainly has. Just goes to show that, you know, endurance racing like this, even in a 3-hour race, as opposed to something like a 12 or a 24-hour race, it's all about keeping it clean. Getting to the end is priority number one.
To finish first, first you must finish.
Yeah, that's it. Never more true than here.
If only a few drivers took that idea in a lot of series that we see.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll
No
save that for
shade
another
being
day.
thrown at all.
No names will be mentioned, but to finish first, first you must finish. Hey,
Gallon.
I'm going to say something that I said about an hour ago. Geez, the
Okay.
battle between teammates between the Fusion sim racing cars is quite good.
Yeah, it's closed back up again, hasn't it?
It has.
Both of these cars having incidents that that set them back, and now they're nice and close together again.
Good to see. Last lap by about 4/10 quicker for Alexander Bird in the 246 car. The 247 car doing a 2-minute .4, 2-minute flat for Bird in the 246.
Yeah. And both of these cars, once again, with damage, they've definitely been in the wars, as have a lot of the GT3 field in this race.
GT3 and GTE cars have definitely all been in the wars. I actually think the only straight car out there is Benefield and Smith. So my apologies for those guys now putting the commentator's curse on them. Yep, definitely need the... saying that, it looks like Benefield might already have a little bit of damage at the front, so I don't feel quite as guilty now. 32 seconds, the lead for the Redback Racing Team Red, number 34 car, driven by Benefield, back to Lewis Gallon. LP Racing, Trans-Tasman Racing car. Seeing Brett Douglas still in the lane. He's just making his pit stop in the number 193. Seeing Chris Purnell back in the car in the 192 entry as well, so another driver swap for that car.
Really enjoying the, you said this before, Jay, I'm really enjoying the livery choice for the BSB Racing guys. That, the feathers or flames, I don't know, as Smith goes up the inside
It's
there of
one
Purnell.
and or both. I think it could be either. It's like an eagle's wing or some sort of fire at the front of the car, like the brakes are exploded or something. It's a really cool looking car.
Yeah, very nice. Lovely warm colours.
I know a lot of teams really didn't want their Ferraris not to be red, but I actually think some of the liveries that we've seen in these Ferraris that aren't red are actually quite classy and really, really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah, certainly. Like, you know, you think Ferrari, you think red, don't you? It's just one of those things that's a given. But you know, I'm up for a bit of experimentation.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can speak on my team's side of things, the talking team. We tried and went for a red livery to have a look and see how it went, and it was absolutely disgusting with our look, and went back to our blue, and away we've gone, and it actually looks beautiful. So now just noticing gap first back to second in GTE, 16 seconds. Has something happened? Well, something has happened to Paul Mansell.
Yeah. So it seems. Maybe when did he take his stop?
Yeah, it lost 12 seconds on that last lap, which is about the gap.
Oh, he went off at Degner.
Okay.
That's what happened. Came through
there we go.
Dunlop curve, and oh wow, yeah, he took a bit too much of Degner 1. Basically cut the corner, went over the hump at the curb, and yeah, went a bit airborne, just completely lost it into the gravel trap. Had to do a very awkward turnaround to get back going.
And he's only just ahead of the Evolution Racing Team 125 car, which has got Larnack's behind the wheel of that one. We've seen Larnack, just seeing the replay of that incident. And he's done a great job to not slam that into the wall. He's actually gone the wrong way to try and get it back out, but that was lucky to not be fenced and race over. So well done to Paul Mansell for continuing on in this one.
Yeah, certainly. Very good stuff. Just reinforcing that notion that, you know, don't give up. You need to keep going. Race has got somewhere in the vicinity of 50 minutes to go.
Teammate battle starting to brew between different teammates this time. Sean Thompson and Ross Rizzo in the 185 and the 184 cars. Separated by about 1.5 seconds in GTE. But that battle's definitely closed up 2 seconds last lap by.
Oh, and Gallon just behind him. Oh! Right into Rizzo. There's a bit of net code involved in that.
Yeah, Rizzo's having a few
Rizzo
internet
blinking.
issues, so...
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him.
Gallon's on the charge, he's got it down to 32 seconds. And
Some would probably say that Gallon was a bit too optimistic with that move, but
Yep.
I mean, he didn't really know what was going to happen to Rizzo, in all fairness to him.
And with the internet issues, it sort of exacerbated something that was probably going to be okay into an actual issue. Driver change in the Redback Racing Team Black, Warren Pickering jumping in, replacing Seb Murray-Westberg for the last stint in that car. They'll have exactly 50 minutes left when they get back out on track, which is what we've worked out to be a full stint in the DP class.
Now Gallon's going to come up to Thompson on the back straight.
Yeah, he's just passed him through 130R and into the chicane.
I'm on replay once again.
I figured that. I'm at a bit of an advantage because mine actually tells me on my timing screen that I'm on replay, so...
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, like, I've got my laptop in front of me, and the top of my laptop screen is obscuring the part of the iRacing heads-up display that says replay and live, so... I really need a multi-screen setup.
Look, you do. One day, mate. One day you'll get there.
I like how you start like, oh look mate, it's alright, but then you just change it to like, yeah you do.
You do.
Tyler Blackburn coming into the pits for Race on Oz and the number 222 in position 22.
Yeah, P7 in class. Those guys have had a fairly unlucky race, so I think they'll be happy to actually finish this one. They're about 5 laps down from the next car, which is the 097 Performance Motorsport car. Grant Hines behind the wheel of that one at the moment.
Yep. Ross Rizzo now has recovered from his contact with Gallon and is now on the back of the 2 Fusion Sim Racing GT3s once again.
You got a bit of damage to the front of that car after that issue too. You can see the front pushed in over the front left-hand wheel.
And of course the Ford is extremely sensitive to aero damage, so Rizzo might have lost a lot of pace here.
Yeah, you might actually struggle to pass these McLarens down this straight here.
McLarens?
Oh, Mercedes. Yeah, geez, I'm doing well. Where's that drink?
Oh, the Fusion Sim Racing guys are going side by side into 130R. Looks like Alex Bird is going to go by Scott Stevens into 130R with the brake light out. And Rizzo is going to try and make his way past Stevens as well, or is he? No, he is not. Not at this point anyway.
I'm not made out for these endurance races, mate.
I don't think many people are, Jay. We're sticking it out. We're sticking
Warren
it out.
Pickering back out on track. That's a nearly 3 minute pit stop for the Redback Team Black. So that's put them a long way back. They're actually down to 9th outright with 4 GTE cars ahead of them. Scott Larnack, Paul Mansell starting to tighten up once again. Was out to about 4.5 seconds, now back into 2.9 seconds between the number 5 and the 125.
Yep, looking forward to seeing the conclusion of that.
Yeah, it'll be a really fun battle. These guys still... Well, no, they're fueled up to the end, aren't they? These guys? Yeah. Yep.
They should be. They should be.
Well, they should be, yeah. We're expecting them to be fueled up to the end.
If they're not, then
They're in
someone's
trouble.
done something wrong. Whether it's us or them, well...
We'll blame them.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
Now, I'm thinking Lewis Polo Gallon will be in soon because he had that shorter first stint. He's done 24 laps on this stint of tyres and fuel.
Just coming up to a GTE out of 130R. That looks to be Brett Douglas.
Yep, the 193. Just makes it nice and easy for him.
Indeed, he does. Gallon continues on past the pit lane. Has a GT3 car to contend with. That's Silvassi.
I reckon one more lap and we'll see Gallon in.
32.8-second gap last time by at the line. Oh, Gallon running a bit wide in turn 2.
Gaps have loosened off a little the whole way through the field. As we say that, Alexander Bird, he's in the lane, so potentially an undercut here. For Bird over Stevens, who probably was being held up a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps.
Fusion Sim Racing number 247 now leading GT3 with the rest of the field pitting.
Yeah. Lewis Kugerly, meanwhile, for Pleb Sim Sport, is making his way through the chicane, and he'll probably take the position from Alexander Bird.
Yeah, very sure he'll make this move for position done. So I'm thinking that Stevens and Bird will be the one to watch, which was the last position inside the top 3 before the pit stops. So it'll be an interesting battle after these pit stops finish, where they all come out. I'll tell you one thing that I'm a little bit surprised with this entire race is how many drivers have done this solo.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised myself. I mean, I suppose like sim racing not being as physically exhausting as real life racing can be, I guess it makes sense. But you know, I mean, if the option is there, then there are plenty of drivers out there who'll take it to do a 3-hour race solo. Oh, I remember doing a 3-hour GT race back in the Race 07 days.
Saying that, a little bit different sim racing because especially on a Tuesday night, most people have worked throughout the day as well. So then backing up with a 3-hour race too, it's sort of a exhausting day. But then again, never know.
For a weekly series on a weeknight, yeah. I don't know. Suppose I guess a lot of the drivers who are soloing, you know, people like Benefield and Gallon, they're very young guys. They're around about my age, you know, early 20s. So they probably have the energy.
Jeez, I don't even remember what I was doing back in my early 20s. Seems like forever ago.
Ah, mate.
I'm not even joking. That's a sad bit. Anyway.
Moving swiftly on.
Jeez, we've done that a bit tonight, haven't we? Mansell back to Larnax stretched out to now 3.4 seconds. So the ERT number 125 running about the same pace as the number 5 with Mansell behind the wheel. Last lap by pretty much identical lap times. Actually identical lap times. 56.5. So that has settled that gap for now. But still 3.5 seconds. It will close up by the end. Scott Stevens in the pits. So we'll keep our eye on Alexander Bird.
Lewis Kugerly's already gone way by. He's making his way through the S's. And
Bird's actually come out ahead of Shepherd.
Ooh,
so that's a good gain for Bird.
Bird coming through the chicane. Stevens revving up, and he's away.
This is going to be pretty close.
Yeah. Looks like Stevens decided to spin the wheels coming out of the pits, try and get a good launch. So it is going to be close between the Fusion Sim Racing guys.
Bird's going to get him.
Yeah, Bird's got it. Wow. There we go. That undercut worked.
That 1 lap difference has made a massive, massive jump there for Alexander Bird, and he's going to pull about 2 seconds.
Yeah, certainly will. But remember, both Bird and Stevens, compared to Pleb 1 Performance, they probably have fresh tyres.
The longest in regards to the moment for tyres would be Martin Sflassi, who pitted 10 laps ago. Dylan Shepherd 8 laps ago. Kugerly 3 laps ago. So not a massive difference in regards to tyres. Flassi, who is in 5th in class, probably the one that is out of sequence there in regards to tyres.
Right. Question is, did the FSR guys take tyres? I would assume they did.
Yeah,
on that last stop.
Minute for the pit stop, so pretty sure they've taken tyres.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter in fuel, 57 seconds versus 1:03. Keeping one eye on Daniel Benefield, who is yet to make his final stop. Gap first back to second, 1:18 at the moment. 1:51.1 last lap by for Benefield. Gallon on his first flying lap after the pit stops. We've got 40 minutes left in this race. And the leaders for DP, GTE and GT3 all still undecided.
This is going to be an exciting end for sure.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. GTE, John Piesnik, you'd say he's got the pace to win it, but he's had absolutely no luck other than bad luck tonight, so can't say that he's going to win this race with only 21-second lead. That's one spin, one incident with a slower car, one incident with a faster car. Could easily turn this race around. We don't know what will happen. We've just ticked over 40 minutes to go. In saying that, Daniel Benefield is having lots and lots of internet issues.
Yeah, but this is the thing, and it's always frustrated us as competitors when we've raced against him, and he's had these issues. His internet has this uncanny ability to just stay connected, despite him blinking all over the place. He'll blink till the cows come home, but he won't drop out.
Have a look at the lap time from Lewis Gallon last lap by.
Wow.
150.4 versus a 151.1 for Benefield. So this earlier pit stop is definitely helping Gallon now. I would think Benefield will be in this lap, losing 7/10 that last lap by.
Yeah, he should be. Have a look. No, he's going to continue by for at least one more.
See what lap time he does. He had no traffic that time around, so the 50s, 52. 51.2, I should say.
Ooh, almost had a contact incident between Redback Team Black and One Performance Racing into Spoon. Looks like Warren Pickering ran wide out into the gravel, and Dylan Shepherd just holding his line. Pickering almost came round onto the front of Shepherd, but they both managed to keep out of it.
Yeah, got a replay of that coming up on screen now. Just completely missed his braking market there, didn't he?
He certainly did. Easy to do at Spoon. There's not much of a visible sort of brake marker there. When it comes to the latter part of a race, I end up using the part where the rubber starts to brake, because it can vary wildly from lap to lap.
Another half a second gain for Pele Gallon that time by, with a 50.7 that lap around. Clint Smith in the lane in the number 67.
Yeah. See if he hands over to a guy this time around.
No, hearing he's doing it solo. Heard from his team that he's doing it solo, so...
Just remembered that little nugget in the broadcast chat.
It's just been information overload. We can't keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
That's always a good problem to have, having too much information and knowing exactly what's going on in these races.
Yeah, it certainly is.
That's Scott Larnack on screen at the moment in the number 125 Evolution Racing Team entry.
Yep, let's have a look at his last lap. 56.794. Meanwhile, Paul Mansell ahead of him did a 56.2. So,
yeah,
not the best lap for Larnack that time.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds now, the gap between second and third in GTE. Meanwhile, John Piesnik, geez, I give up tonight. 56.1 he did, so he's still pulling away 10th by 10th.
Certainly is, but he'll be driving with bated breath, I think, after the race he's had.
Yeah, I think he'll be overly happy to see the checkered flag in just over half an hour.
Yeah, without a doubt. I do like to go pretty deep into my stints as an endurance. What?
Mansell just ahead of Larnack. Big lock up at the hairpin.
Uh-oh.
And he's kept it going. Hasn't lost a lot of time. Still staying around about the 3.5 seconds, but definitely a huge lock up for Mansell because you can see the smoke from the onboard up ahead.
Well, it's very much a battle of the time sheets at the moment throughout the field. At the moment, it's I'm not seeing many close on-track battles.
No, the field's definitely spread, but it's definitely a race against the clock at the moment. But Daniel Benefield versus Lewis Gallon is the one that we keep one eye on in this battle that we're watching at the moment between Mansell and Larnack for P2, P3 in GTE. And then we've actually got a 3-car battle, or 2-car battle for second and third between teammates Fusion Sim Racing cars in GT3. So 3 battles for podium positions in each class, which is what we want to see.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, I think for a new series, this has really turned it up. I've actually quite enjoyed the racing that we've seen so far. I think it's a perfectly good length for these races.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a really good length, 3 hours. You probably don't want too much longer than that for potential solo drivers. And overall, for the most part, the quality of the driving's been very, very good and very, very courteous for the most part between the multi-class drivers.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, with official racing, you always have elements of the unknown. You don't exactly know which drivers you're going to be put with in what split if it's a particularly popular series, and you run the risk of more incidents and some more bad driving. But in these hosted events, you know, everybody knows each other. Everybody's aware of how everyone else drives, and it really contributes to the cleanliness of the field.
It's going to be on for position 6 and 7 in GTE between Performance Motorsport. Jason Hyde at the wheel. Chris Purnell, we just saw on board from Purnell. A big mistake for Hyde at the chicane, and he's off again.
Oh, so that's going to give Purnell the position.
Through he goes.
Hyde gets back on quick, sharp though.
He did well then. He got off the brake and straightened the car up and then slowed it down as opposed to locking it up and potentially spinning. That was actually very, very clever driving. It's only cost him 2 seconds instead of a full spin, which a lot of drivers would do there. They just lock the brake and try and get it looped around. And potentially hasn't done too much damage to his tyres there too.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that Hyde lost as little time as he did from that.
That was actually very, very clever driving. Well done.
Yeah, well recovered.
This battle's come from nowhere as well. Purnell actually is the 3rd quickest driver in GTE at the moment. Last lap by was a 1:56.5 versus Jason Hyde, who did a 1:58.0 last lap, so that's why he's gained that position. The only drivers quicker than him last time by, actually there's 3 drivers quicker than him last time by, which was Peasnick, Mansell and Larnack. Thompson, who is in 4th in class, he was in the 57s. Rizzo also in the 57s. Now, while we've been looking at everything else, I just noticed that Benefield has made his final pit stop, and he's made a very, very short pit stop.
Oh yeah, splash and dash. So
18-second stop.
No Aaron Lee.
No driver change, so no change in that team, which is interesting in one aspect, but not in another. So yeah, shorter stop, potentially will save a bit of fuel, maybe hasn't taken tyres, I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely going to be a sprint home, 40-second lead at the moment. Gallon definitely struggling with traffic. He's very, very off his normal pace that we've seen throughout this race.
I would hazard a guess that Benefield hasn't taken tyres because with a stop that short, I think the DP goes by IMSA rules where the tires and fuel are changed at the same time.
Yeah, I believe that's correct too.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Like, his outlap looked fairly stable, which you don't usually see with the DPs. Once again, they don't use tire warmers, so the tires actually need time to get up to temperature. But Benefield's doing really well at the moment, so yeah, I don't know. Did he or didn't he?
Yeah, not sure. I'm sure someone will tell us in the chat. Fill us in. Gap between second and third in GTE now down to 2.9 seconds. Last lap by another 9/10 gain for the ERT 125 team. Scott Larnack behind the wheel. Paul Mansell really wanting to hold on to this P2. He's had a very, very good drive so far.
Yeah, I can imagine from Paul Mansell's perspective, he's been through quite a bit in this race, and come home with a second. That'll certainly be a good night's work.
So we're under half an hour left in this race now. Teammate battle between the Pro Force Racing guys. That's got nice and close in the last 2 laps. Fastest GTE driver on track at the moment is Ross Rizzo.
Yeah, wow. Even with that little bit of damage to his car, he seems to be doing quite well for himself.
Yeah, we were worried before that he actually had damage and would have lost a lot of pace, but obviously not. He's the fastest guy out there.
And this is the other frustrating thing about the Ford at the moment. Sometimes you will get tons of damage just from running over a curb on the exit like you did just then. And sometimes you'll drive a lap riding every single curb, taking trips in the gravel trap, and you won't get any damage at all.
Well, hopefully it'll get fixed in the very, very near future.
Colonel
and Hyde's on again.
I'll stop complaining now.
Hyde, after that little whoopsie-doo we saw a lap ago in turn 1, he's now right back on the tail of Chris Purnell in the 192.
We have got news from the broadcast chat. Aaron Lee tells us that Benefield did take tyres. So, obviously he's having a better time of it than most with the cold initial tyres.
Pro Force Racing guys, nose to tail here.
Oh.
Coming through 130R into the chicane.
They got lap traffic just ahead of them.
Yep.
That's Brett Douglas.
A GTE and a GT3 that they're going to probably get into turn 1.
Yeah, Brett Douglas and Dylan Shepherd. So Douglas slows down to let them by. But now, I think at this point they're going to catch up to Shepherd somewhere
in the S's.
Yeah, at maybe the end of the S's or Degner. Oh, Thompson letting Rizzo by.
No, he's not.
No,
is he?
What's going on? Yeah. Okay, I think there was a little bit.
Go through and no, I'm not letting you through. Yes, I am letting you through. Just hurry up and go.
Yeah, guess so.
Can sometimes sometimes see strange things like that happen between teammates. No, you keep going. No, I'll go. No. Whereas just do it and go. Keep pushing on, boys.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to put the hammer down eventually, and yeah, Ross Rizzo got the message.
Out to 4 seconds now, third and second in GTE, so that's stretched out. Second and third in GT3 has stretched out, but third to fourth has closed in GT3. Dylan Shepherd starting to close in on Scott Stevens. Gained a second last lap by.
Yep, about...
well, half a second, I should say.
Yeah, half a second gained.
So it's down to 2.8 seconds now. Live on track. You can see the gap between those two cars.
Shepherd is going to get passed by a Ford, it looks here. Or a DP and then a Ford.
Oof.
That's Ross Rizzo behind him.
Ross Rizzo that we were talking about.
Shepherd catching the grass! Okay, well he's going to lose ground to Stevens there.
Yeah, that won't help him. Get a replay of that. We only sort of saw the edge of it.
Yeah, Shepherd did well to recover that. You hit the brakes.
Yeah, two of
coming
them
into
grass.
130R. Yeah.
He gave way too much room to that Ford GT of Ross Rizzo.
Yeah.
I think he was worried about making sure he gave room. He forgot to worry about himself.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, either way, he's managed to keep it on track. Guess we'll see if he manages to catch up to Stevens at the end. Benjamin Smith is making his way past Stevens in the S's at the moment, coming up behind him. Like he's being nice and...
Oh!
I was about to say nice and patient, but... Here we go, he's going to go through on the inside at Dunlop, or is he? Stevens sees him coming, gives him the room. Benjamin Smith goes on through.
Yeah, that was hard in mouth stuff there, and just seeing Grant Hines just move aside for Smith as well, and Smith almost lost it, so... But...
And Hines is going to go wide to let Stevens through. Oh my goodness, look at Smith in front of them though.
He's
Went
trying
off
to
the
drive
exit of the hairpin.
He's trying to drive the absolute wheels off that thing at the moment. Don't know if there's any point in doing that. You've got a lot of time to make up before you will potentially do anything, so...
I mean, I know there's only like 24 minutes left in the race, but you still got to make distance.
That's right. About 14 laps left in this race. Closest battle on track is this one on screen. We've got Ross Rizzo in the 184, working his way through traffic, and just behind is his teammate, team boss, Sean Thompson in the 185.
Yeah, Rizzo's going to go through on Scott Stevens.
Yeah, and Thompson goes through on Grant Hines as well.
Oh, Thompson coming up on the rear of Stevens in the chicane. He's going to lose a tiny bit of ground here. But now he's going to have a nice little slipstream from that GT3.
Yeah, this will help him out. This is for Thompson in 5th in this class. So
Stevens just tapping the brakes to let Thompson know he's going to brake early.
Good sportsmanship out there. These guys have raced each other quite a lot, so they would have known what to expect there. That gap in GTE has stayed the same. So it's still around that 3.5 seconds. Battle pack though, 2nd, 3rd, 4th in GT3. 5.5 seconds separate those 3 cars now.
Well, this is juicy. Forward to this.
23 minutes to go. Not much left in this race. I can see, well, I'm guessing from the pit stop times that the FSR guys have put a little bit less than a full tank of fuel in last time at the stop. So, could we see potential strategy here change how this all comes to play with 23 minutes to go?
Yeah, very good question. The waiting game on our part. We don't know what the guys have been discussing.
On board here with Alex Bird looking back as he's being passed by one of the Ferraris.
Yep, that's Thompson there passing him.
You can see the headlights off back in the distance. Scott Stevens, the first one. The second one back is Dylan Shepherd. So now under 5 seconds separating these 3 cars. This gap is going to close very, very quickly. Very, very quick lap times from Dylan Shepherd, even with all that damage on that car.
Yeah, and Alex Bird just had a little bit of a whoops-a-daisy moment coming out of the final turn. Tiny bit of a slide. Have a look here, Dylan Shepherd using Grant Hines to get a bit of a slipstream down the start-finish straight.
Shepherd should close up, I reckon, in about another 2, maybe 3 laps. But last lap by, he was 1.5 seconds quicker than Bird and 0.5 second quicker than Stevens.
Yep, Shepherd has now got Brett Douglas for company in the S's. Oh.
That looked really dangerous.
Yeah.
I think
that
Shepherd's realised... sorry, I think Douglas has realised that this is not the right time to to get this done, because he can see they're battling for position. So drop back, let them battle, and then go for it again.
Yeah, wait for the straight.
Oh, just seeing in the background there, Grant Hines just locked it up, managed to pull it up, not spin.
That hairpin hasn't been very good to him in this race.
No. So Bird now back to Stevens, 1.6 seconds, and another 3.2 seconds back to Shepherd, who has lost a little bit of ground with that lapping traffic. GTE battle still the same. Sorry, race still the same.
That's all good.
Same distance at 3 seconds between Mansell and Larnack for third and second in GTE. So I'll stick with the GT3 battle pack.
Yeah, that seems to be the closest at the moment. It doesn't. Looks like Gallon's basically run out of oomph to try and get back at Benefield.
Yeah.
The gap is at 41 seconds.
Yeah, it's been very stable at that 41 for quite a while now too.
Yeah, I doubt he'll be able to make that up before the end.
Under 20 minutes to go, so this race is now starting to really get away. Stevens hasn't got much time. That lap by then gained 3/10 on Bird, and obviously, as we saw, Shepherd, he's 1 or 2 seconds slower, I should say. He's now 4.7 seconds behind Stevens. Oh, Shepherd, big cut of the corner through the last part of the Dunlop curves.
Yeah. He's pushing really hard as Dylan.
Yeah.
He's
He knows he can get this podium. He knows he's got it. He knows he's got the pace.
Yeah.
He's just got to get there again.
Yeah, definitely. It's the thing is, like, all three of these cars that are battling for second place, they've all had an incident of some kind. They've all had to claw their way back from something that's gone wrong somewhere. So there's a lot on the line for these guys. Shepherd.
Oh, how did he hold that?
That's one way to get your car rotated for the second part of Spoon. Goodness me. I think he might have
jump
done
on board and have a look at the wheel work here.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. Comes into Spoon.
That was actually quite a good drift though. He did a good job to maintain that, but that was ultra aggressive on the wheel. I think he might slow down a little bit, I think. Just a little.
There might have been a little bit of two-footing there with Dylan. Try and get the rear end gripped back up.
1.5 seconds now the gap between the 246 and the 247 Fusion Sim Racing cars.
Getting quite intense.
Gap second to third in GTE has also dropped below 3 seconds for the first time in a long time. So we'll keep one eye on that, keep the other eye on this battle between Stevens and Bird. Shepherd's now dropped back. He's now about 6 seconds off the pace, saying that he has had a little bit of lap traffic slow him down. So when that traffic catches up to Bird and Stevens, that will draw him back in once again.
Yes, indeed. And in the case of Shepherd, that lap traffic actually is lap traffic for him, in spite of it being a Ford. That's the Natari Autosports car, which is actually back out on track after a long time in the pits. James Foster has taken that car back over.
Yep, they were in the pits for 25 minutes before, so fair bit of damage getting repaired there by the looks of it. Or driver have given up and they're like, oh, well, let's go back out there. Good to finish these things.
Yes, indeed.
See,
Shepherd off at the exit of 130R, just keeping the car under control over that slippery AstroTurf.
Got Alexander Bird about to be passed by Clint Smith, but he's going to catch him at the perfect spot. He's not going to lose any time with this car, and also Benefield now coming through as well to lap the car of Clint Smith in the coming laps. So we're only going to have 2 cars left on the lead lap by the end of this race, the way it's going.
Yeah, what fantastic pace by Benefield and Gallon though. Just they've been almost flawless all race.
Yeah, they've done a
Brilliant
great
stuff
job.
by those guys.
Unfortunate for Gallon with that incident early on. If he didn't have that, I think it would have been a fantastic battle between Benefield and Gallon. So fingers crossed for the rest of this series, we'll see some really tight battles.
Yeah, sure.
Bird and Stevens now out to 2 seconds after this little bit of a lap traffic. But Mansell and Larnack now down to 2.7 seconds, so that's definitely closing up. Last lap by actually identical lap times, but through the S's, Larnack is closing up.
Yeah, tell you what, like, and anyone who's seen the video on my YouTube channel will know I had a fantastic battle with Scott Larnack in Split 2 in IMSA last Thursday here at Suzuka. Quite entertaining, but I noticed that Larnack really likes to push very hard in the S's. The Ferrari is in the slow to mid-speed corners. It's got a little bit of edge over the Ford. The Ford seems to have a bit more like a high-speed corner sort of pace, but the Ferrari through the S's, you can just chuck it around and it's like, yeah, man, it's cool. I got this.
It's almost like it enjoys being punished.
Yeah.
The way it drives. The only issue for Larnack, he is closing that gap. It's now down to 2.6 seconds. He has got Warren Pickering coming up behind him, so for his sake, he'll be hoping that he catches and passes at a spot where he won't lose any time.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully he stays behind here. He might wait until the main straight, I think.
yeah, that seems like a fair thing to do.
Because this is actually for position
Oh,
outright.
Pickering locked up. Oh, and Larnack is forced to let
actually,
him through
yeah,
in
Larnack-
the masochist's machine.
Larnack was letting him through, I think, and Pickering wasn't expecting it. I'm not sure. That was really strange. But that's really hurt. Scott Larnack is now 5 seconds behind the Sky VR 46 entry.
Well, I dare say that might be battle over.
Potentially. There's only 13 minutes left, so we'll make it very hard. Bird is now pulling away from Scott Stevens. 3.2 seconds now between Bird and Stevens. And same gap pretty much back to Shepherd, who is catching 1.3 seconds last lap over Scott Stevens in the number 247.
Yeah, Stevens has gotten held up a bit, getting passed by GTEs. Seems the Atari Autosports car passed him in Dunlop, and then he just got passed by one of the BSB cars.
Stevens has run out of tyres, I'm pretty sure. He's got nothing left.
Yeah, it's gone.
He's dropping a lot of time to Shepherd behind, and Bird is just pulling away from him at 4.2 seconds now.
Goodness me. Well,
What a race.
yeah, we've seen quite a lot go on, and I was sort of hoping that would condense into a really nice three-way battle, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Depending on how traffic plays out, it's not over, but it's going to be more Alexander Bird's race to lose for that second position than anyone else's to gain. Just got to be smart about how he lets his traffic through, not worry about anything that's happening in his mirror other than lap traffic. Larnack and Mansell definitely done. That's out to 6 seconds. So that battle that we were seeing in GTE start to close up is definitely done. We've got about 6 laps left in this race, 11 minutes on the clock.
Well, it's looking like GT3 is really the only class that has anything that we can pick up on at the moment.
Yeah, and if you actually look at the times, it looks like there's nothing to pick up on with it. But we know that Stevens, just looking at the way he's driving and the pace drop-off that he's had in the last few laps, he's got nothing left in the tyres. Shepherd is driving ultra aggressive, but that's costing him time as well. He's now at a
Yeah, he's just-
6.3 second gap back to the car ahead, and he's got another car going to throw it up. No, pulls out of it at the hairpin, which is the Performance Motorsport number 647. Jason Hyde at the wheel of that car.
Yeah, now, Hyde going to wait for the back straight. Or is he going to try and send one up the inside spoon? Shepard sort of... Oh, hello. Hyde has a little bit of a problem on entry to spoon. Looked like Shepard just tried to cover the inside, and maybe that was his way of saying to Jason, no, please wait until the straight.
Yeah, do it at the right time.
Yeah, so Hyde goes on through.
Actually beneficial for both cars to do it in a smart spot because it loses less time for both cars. So
Yeah.
Hyde probably too far back to catch the car ahead for position, but you never know, these races are not over until the checkered flag drops. Gap second to third in GT3 is closing up again, now down to 3.5 seconds. It was out to 4.5 before. Last lap by a second quicker for the 247 over the 246.
Oh boy. Something must have happened to Bird on that lap. He may have gotten past in
Yeah,
an
I think it was a
awkward
bit
place.
of traffic. He had a fair bit of traffic behind him, which is now all ahead of him. So had a few GTEs and DP as well. Gap first back to second, out right now 45 seconds.
Goodness me.
Benefield's just got that thing absolutely hooked up.
Peacenik is going to get by Bird here. We'll run up to the hairpin. So that's going to lose Bird a little bit more time relative to Stevens.
We'll keep an eye on the live gap, was 3.5 seconds, now down to 3.1, so it's lost him about 0.3 of a second. Is it enough? 8 minutes to go, or 8.5 minutes to go.
Yes, indeed.
Around about 6 laps left in this race for our race leaders, as Benefield is about to cross the line to commence lap number 92 of this race.
Still in the high 1 minute 50s. Incredible pace.
Great pace. Actually, last lap for Lewis Pellegallin, he actually had a 1:58, so he's had some sort of issue on that last lap. Maybe staying out of a battle or something like that, not too sure, but definitely given up the ghost to try and hunt down Daniel Benefield, who has had an absolute faultless race. The only fault he had was not qualifying on in pole position.
Yeah, suppose so.
Forced that mistake out of Lewis Gallon early in the race, which has basically ended Gallon's hunt for the win.
Yeah, definitely. A very good run from Daniel Benefield. Race enters its dying stages. What have we got? About 7 minutes to go.
Oh, something's happened. Dylan
Matt
Shepherd.
Allison spun.
Dylan Shepherd spun coming onto the
dear.
front straight, and he has massive damage. I'm not sure if that is extra damage or not. We'll try and pick up a replay, but that's over for that position.
Oh yeah, it looks like he ran wide coming out of the last turn. And yeah, that just sent him straight into the wall on the front straight. Increased the damage on the front of the car. I think fatigue might be setting in now for
Yep.
a lot of drivers in this field.
Yeah, well, not only the 3-hour race, some of these guys, they've also had an hour of practice and a half-hour qualifier as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely starting to take its hold now.
Shepard had to do a 3-point turn to get that thing going again on the around the start-finish line. Well, these last few minutes of the race, it looks like the racing has entirely calmed down.
Yeah, we can actually take our breath for the
Yeah.
first time in about an hour and a half,
No direct battles happening on track.
which is actually surprising. It's actually a battle for position on track at the moment, but it's not for class position, with Kugley about to be passed by Matt Allison.
Ah, yes.
Lewis Kugley's had a pretty easy race, essentially. He hasn't had too much fighting
Yeah.
to do in regards. He just got out to a lead right at the start of the race, and he's just kept going with it. He's the fastest GT3 on track by an absolute mile, and he's run a very, very good race. Very, very strategic.
Yeah, apart from that incident with Silvassi having a strange slide in front of him, it's been a very quiet race for Kugeli. So, yeah, I suppose he'll be coming home very satisfied with this win.
It's not quite over yet. Don't put the Mozza on him.
Uh-huh.
We are good at the commentator's curse.
We are.
We have proven that many times tonight.
Yes, we have. Well,
sorry,
Matt
everyone.
Allison's about to go by Lewis Kugeli on the back straight. Very, very.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why.
That's why. The leader's coming through. That makes sense. I was on board and I didn't realise that there was another car coming through. As Benefield makes his way through, that makes a lot more sense now.
All right then.
He'll have another go now. Let's try again.
Yeah. So on the front stretch, we'll see if Allison goes by Kugeli.
He will now. 5 minutes left on the clock. So there'll be, I think, 4 laps left or 3 laps left in this race.
Oh, he's not going to go by.
He's either down on pace or he's just happy
Kugeli.
just sitting.
Oh!
Sitting in behind.
Okay. I hope that's all the commentator's curse I'm going to put on Lewis.
Let's go to another battle.
A very strongly worded Facebook message after this race, probably.
Well, we'll stay with this until we see Matt Allison get past. There we go.
There we go. Oh, he's not going to make it easy for himself.
Oh, there's actually contact. Oh, no.
Kugeli's managed to keep it going. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
It's the commentator's half curse.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Sorry.
Tyler Blackburn just in behind. He's a lap down, and Clint Smith making his way through. Through past Tyler Blackburn, and I'm sure he will get past Lewis Kugeli around the outside on the way into Spoon, or up the inside, one or the other.
Yeah.
Kugeli on the brakes really early to make sure the car's nice and settled.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we'll go back to Benefield because this race has been absolutely dominant from him. Fantastic drive this entire race. Just got 3 minutes left of racing to do, so probably 2 more laps, I would be guessing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just able to go so deep on the anchors.
He almost ran straight ahead at the chicane. He just managed to pull it up. I thought he was going to run straight through the chicane there as we jumped on board with him. There was the curse nearly once again.
Yeah, he's going absolutely barreling into the chicane there. How's he going to turn 1? Not much more conservative.
See if he can try and punch out the fastest lap of the race with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Fastest lap of the race, Lewis Gallon did a 1 minute 50.2, about midway point through the race, or just after an hour through this race on his second stint. Amazing seeing these guys that are actually quite good at this car, how they drive it. I could never drive these cars like this.
Yeah, I gave it a red hot go trying to give the Daytona prototype a crack at the Daytona 24 this year, and I didn't have a very good time.
I never have a good time when I jump in this car. I'll give it another try, and I instantly regret that decision. So this has been a nice clean lap from Benefield. No traffic, just having it nice and easy. Got it all by himself.
Yeah, a little bit of oversteer on the exit of Spoon, but he's managed to keep it going.
Meanwhile, all the battles have absolutely settled down. The gap that we were talking about earlier for GTE, 4 seconds, that's going to finish at or thereabouts. Bird 5.5 seconds ahead of Stevens. Shepherd now 30 seconds behind Stevens. We commence the last lap of this race. This will be the 96th and final time around this Suzuka circuit. That lap was a 50.6.
Donking pace from Benefield, even at this late stage. Ooh, still pushing super hard, smashing the curbs through the S's.
John Piesnik on screen. He is the leader in GTE, and barring something absolutely bizarre and unfortunate, he should pick up the win in this class. Definitely the fastest driver in regards to pace, and if he didn't have any of this bad luck he had, I'd hate to see what the gap would have been to the rest of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I guess, like, from a spectator's point of view, it was pretty good. You know,
it was good that he was back in the pack to actually see him come through.
Yeah, having to see someone come back up through the pack is always entertaining, but I'm sure from Piesnik's view, it was a race to forget for the most part. I'm sure he'll be happy with this lead.
I think he'll be more happy with this win than a race where he's led from start to finish, because he's really had to work hard for it.
Oh, yeah.
And the Pleb Sim Sport car, Lewis Kugley at the wheel. Again, another driver that we talked about before, having a fairly faultless race. Just that issue with Flassie when he was in the lead in this class. Just ahead of him coming into Spoon. It was a really bizarre one. But other than that, he's had a completely clean race. So good drive from Lewis Kugley. The clock has hit 0. So this is officially the final lap of the race.
Yep.
Daniel Benefield through the final chicane for the last time. Great drive. Redback Racing Team Red will pick up the win in round 1 of the Midweek Sportscar Championship here at Suzuka.
Fantastic drive, just super consistent, fast pace all race. Pretty much faultless drive from Daniel Benefield, and massive congratulations to him. Meanwhile,
Pleb Sim Sport car will cross the line next in regards to class leaders. Comes through the final chicane for the final time.
Yep, once again, very quiet race from Lewis Kugley, and probably an extremely happy chappy, taking the win in the GT3 class.
Complete polar opposite for this car, though, the 113 Elephant Motorsport car.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't think anyone's been in the wars as much as John Piesnik has. Like from his pit speed limiter coming on to having incidents with other cars to spinning on his own. It's been a difficult race for him, but he's taken a very deserved win as a result. Fantastic stuff from our GTE winner.
Well done to him. Alexander Bird's going to hold on for that second position. In saying that, it looks like the boys might be going to cross the line together as a form finish for second and third in Fusion Sim Racing, unless is Bird out of fuel? No. I was like, oh, is he out of fuel? Stephen's checked up behind him, so they'll cross the line in form finish, which is always good to see.
Yeah, good stuff there from Fusion Sim Racing, completing the podium. So Stevens and Bird coming across the line too wide. And taking second and third. Fantastic stuff.
Well done to Paul Mansell, picking up second in GTE, and Scott Larnack not quite able to get that second position that he was fighting very hard for with Mansell, but good drive from those guys. Very, very bizarre incident we saw with Larnack with about an hour to go in the race, or an hour and a half to go in the race. So good drive, good recovery from those guys to finish with the third position, and Lewis Palagallon finishing second in DP class, and Clint Smith picking up third in DP.
Well, that was a really good opening round.
Fantastic.
My brain is now omelette. I'm not quite sure.
It's not scrambled; it's just an omelette.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, we saw some great battles all throughout the field, and you know, multi-class racing always turns it on. Like endurance racing, you're always going to see big gaps, but the multi-class aspect of it really adds to it. And yeah, we managed to see some great battles actually in the classes themselves as well. So hopefully next week's race is just as good at Watkins.
Yeah, looking forward to Watkins next week. We've got the results for the DP class on screen. So Redback Racing Team Red from LP Racing, PMS number 67, Race on Oz, and Redback Racing Team Black, who ended up 4 laps down with that large pit stop in the middle of the race. GTE results on screen with Elephant Motorsports picking up the win over Sky VR. 46 Racing Team, they have an Evolution Racing Team 125, Proforce Racing GTI 185, Proforce Racing Kyani 184, BSB Racing 192, Performance Motorsport Chassis 3 in 7th position. 8th position, BSB Racing 193. Race on Oz number 2 in 9th position. Then Atari Autosports in 10th position. They went back out there and continued on. Then the DNFs, Performance Motorsport Chassis 2, Laser Racing, Evolution Racing Team, and GMSR Racing was out before it even begun.
Yep, and the GT3 results. Well, Pleb Sim Sport takes a very commanding win with Lewis Kugerly at the wheel. Fusion Sim Racing takes the final 2 spots on the podium, with One Performance Racing picking up 4th. Evolution Racing Team Hornets picking up position number 5. 6th will go to Performance Motorsports Chassis 4. 7th will go to Race on Oz 3. And it seems the DNFs will be Dynamic Sim Racing and Revolution Racing Team, with Gardner Motorsport, no relation, not taking the start. So that's the entire field in this first round of the Midweek Sportscar Championship. And Jay, as I said, it's a really good opening round, and I can't wait for the next round of the series.
Yeah, can't wait for next week. So we're off to Watkins Glen. Our next broadcast will be Thursday night for IMSA. So if you enjoyed the multi-class action that we've brought tonight, a little bit longer race for the normal IMSA series next week, which will be 75 minutes at Watkins Glen. And then over the weekend, we will have V8 Supercar Online Premier Series on Sunday, also from Watkins Glen, as well as the V8 Supercar Official Series on Monday at Watkins. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we'll be back once again for this series at the same layout, same circuit. Big week in New York, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a Watkins Fest this week at V8's Online. So, yeah, be sure to look out for that. So be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and like us on Facebook at V8's Online. You can follow us on Twitter at V8's Online as well. Check out our website, v8sonline.com. And, I guess we'll see you all for the Watkins Fest in the second half of this week. Well, Jay, thanks for joining me. It was really fun.
Yeah, my absolute pleasure, mate. I absolutely love jumping in the comms box with you, and I'll talk to you again on Sunday.
Certainly will. Well, that is going to be the end of this broadcast of the first round of the Midweek Sports Car Championship at Suzuka Circuit. Once again, race winner in Daytona Prototype, Redback Racing Team Red. Element Motorsports taking up the win in GTE, with GT3 taken by Pleb Sim Sport. You've been watching the Midweek Sports Car Championship on V8's Online. The best race here. We'll see you next week.
When I sat in the car, you always wonder, what's it going to feel like? You know, it was my first time driving a mid-engine GT car. You know, my thoughts were, wow, this is really good for our first time in a car. I was really surprised by it. You're sitting low, you got the A-pillars at steep angles, the windshields at steep angles, you can see the fender flares. I think we have a chance to win. Everything's got to go right, but I think we have a car that can win the race or be on the podium. But can you imagine how cool that would be to go back 50 years later to the year and do it?